Vandeham Shri Guru. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama in this lot of devotees, anybody plays harmonium here? Anybody? At home if you play, you can bring also here, it will be very nice. Anybody plays harmonium here? Any of you? Anybody plays keyboard? Anybody? You play keyboard? You can always bring here for the program. Very nice. Because when you have harmonium or keyboard, you can catch the particular meter. Now I am going to slightly change the meter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare गिरिवरधारी जय राधा यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरावनचारी यशोदानन्दन जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत भक्त वृंद की तंत्राट श्रीमद् भागवतम की तंत्राट श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की Is it big enough for all of you to see? Or you want it made more bigger?
Yes.
Make it more bigger? How many of you have this in your own mobiles you have with you? Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुर्वन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So this is a very important chapter called Spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Lilananda Prabhu had given me a topic called Essence of Bhagavad Gita. I told him that before we go to the essence, we will have to speak a little bit about the spirit. All of you have been coming for these programs, beginning with your SSR programs, isn't it? 12th session program. And the very first theme I have addressed here is what is the need of studying Bhagavad Gita, especially in the modern context. In the Bhagavad Gita, you will find many valuable lessons for our personal life. Say, within a family, husband, wife, children, grandparents, people of different age groups, of different psychologies, and they have to stay within four walls, there is likely to be some quarrels, misunderstandings. Once a grandfather means he was an old man, probably was 60, 70 or 80 years old. So he asked his son, "My dear son, what is that making noise? Is it a crow?" And the son said, "Yes." Then he asked it for the second time. Then he asked it for the third time. Now when he asked for the fourth time, the son actually went wild. He said, "How many times will you ask me? You are a oldie, don't waste my time, go and sleep inside," he said. So then his old father told him, "My dear son, don't you remember? When you were a small kid, when I would take you out to the park, you asked me the same question about a crow 25 times. Don't you remember how patient I was? Now I am asking you 3 or 4 times, you are getting wild on me." So what you learn from this story is with older people we should be patient. Their psychology may be different, and the younger ones, their psychology may be different. But if we really want to learn to tolerate each other within a family and want to have a sweet home sweet home, as you put a board in the home, board is not enough. You will also see our mind is like a ghost many times. Like a ghost haunted man, he goes berserk, he blabbers anything. In the same manner, anger is called as anger is like one little shot of danger, it is said, or it's called momentary madness. People become momentarily mad. So how people become momentarily mad? Because their mind goes out of control, isn't it? See, in the next verse, Krishna says what to do with the mind. Mana prasada samyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapo manasa muchyate. Selling Arjuna, please read this.
Satisfaction, self-control, and purifications of one's existence or attachments of the mind.
If you are not satisfied, we are certainly going to become envious of others. In Latur, in Maharashtra, there was one tuition center owner, one Sharma. So he had 12 teachers with him. One of the teachers went out and started his own step-by-step tutorials. And then the step-by-step tutorials expanded into 5 places. So this fellow became envious and he arranged for someone to shoot him. So it came in the paper last year. So if somebody is not satisfied in his position, he is going to become envious of others. Similarly, we should have simplicity, not duplicity. We should have gravity, means, not speaking unnecessarily. Many times we speak something unnecessarily and the quarrel starts. You have experience of that? Like for example, try to go to somebody and give them a feedback. They will take away your 2 hours. Because they will want to prove to you that what you thought of them is wrong. So therefore we have to practice gravity, isn't it? Similarly, self-control. If we don't practice self-control, we have to cut a sorry figure in our life. Like for example, say everybody is given only 2 gulab jamuns. You go and ask, "Can I have one more?" And they say, "Sorry, it's limited." And then everybody is looking at us. We have to cut a sorry figure when we don't control our senses. Similarly, there are boys who couldn't control their senses when they saw a beautiful girl and they chased after her and got a slap also. So you will see, we need self-control and we have to purify our existence also, which means the purpose of life is actually to purify the heart. If you don't purify the heart, the 3 bad basal qualities are called lust, anger and greed, which are called as gateways to hell. So if you don't clean up the heart of those 3 bad qualities, lust, anger and greed, our mind is going to be like a ghost. But if we have cleansed the mind, then clean mind is like a serene lake. If you see a serene lake, you can even see the pebbles below. So the heart of a pure devotee is like a clean lake, it is said. So in this way, Bhagavad Gita gives many valuable, Like our mind is oftentimes compared to an elephant. Can any of you say why mind is compared to an elephant and not a lion? Because lion also can, mind is very powerful. Why can't we compare it to a lion? Anybody? Or you can call mind a tiger, no?
Because elephant takes bath in water and goes and rolls in mud.
She's telling elephant takes bath in water and rolls in the mud afterwards. So we call the mind to be like an elephant, she says. Yes, bro. Yeah?
Elephant is one of the dumb animal. So mind is dumb like that.
Mind is dumb. In Bhagavad Gita, the elephant is, mind is compared to elephant pramati. Why? Because elephant, if it goes mad, my lord, it can cause a lot of damage. It can kill so many people. You've seen mad elephant, immediately they will order to shoot that elephant if it is mad. Similarly, when our mind goes mad, nobody can say what we will do. But the same mind can be tamed and made very well-behaved mind. Like elephant can be tamed, you all agree? If elephant is tamed, it will even give Ashirvad also. It will also carry logs of wood. And you can even walk an elephant on the road if it is a tamed elephant. Do you agree? Can you walk a lion on the road? Any of you have seen a tamed lion walking on the road? Have you seen? You've seen? Yeah. Has any one of you seen it?
Circus people have seen.
Oh, lion walking on the road?
No, not lion.
In circus.
That is true. No, even without circus also elephant walks on the road actually. You can see that. But I am asking, have any of you seen lion or a tiger walking on the road?
No.
Therefore, mind is compared to elephant. Because mind is a tameable thing. Like elephant is a tameable animal. Therefore, mind is compared to an elephant. Here you see Arjuna asked this question. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati balavadridham Tasyaham nigraham manye Vayoriva sudushkaram. He's saying, mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong, O Krishna. To subdue it, I think it's more difficult than controlling the wind, he says. And what does Krishna say? He empathizes with Arjuna in this verse. Yes, it's very difficult to control, I also agree. But then he gives a solution here. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aham Chayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena Tu Gaunteya Vairagyena Chakrishyate. He says to Arjuna, please read the translation, somebody. Yeah, read it.
Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment.
Yeah. So he is saying that it's undoubtedly difficult to control. At the same time, two things he says. What are the two words he uses here? Abhyasa and Vairagya. Okay, we will read one part of the purport here. Now, please read the first and foremost.
First and foremost is devotional engagement, hearing about Krishna. It's very powerful.
The first and foremost of such devotional engagements is hearing about Krishna. This is a very powerful transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. By detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can very easily learn Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit.
Okay. So in this way, two words are very valuable words are given. Abhyasa and, like you are all coming for the weekly program. This is Abhyas because you are hearing about Krishna. Every day you are chanting Hare Krishna. Yes. That is also Abhyas. And you are reading Prabhupada's books.
Yes.
That is also Abhyas. Correct. And what is Vairagya? You follow 4 regulative principles. What are they? Yeah. You can remember the gimme form. The gimme is no gambling, intoxication, meat eating, illicit sex. you avoid. So that is Vairagya. Huh? So you are following Abhyasa and Vairagya in this moment, therefore your mind is becoming more balanced now, isn't it? So in this way, I just showed you a couple of shlokas from the Gita just now, how Gita is relevant to our modern times. There is so much about the mind, so much about our lifestyle. Okay, one more verse I will say and then we will proceed ahead so that you will... Yeah, please read it.
Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now here of the distinctions between them.
Okay. So all of us eat every day, correct now? So food is very important for us. Ayus sattva balarogya sugha pretir vivardhanaha tasya snigdha stira hridya ahara sattvika priyaha. Please read it.
Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart.
Yeah. And then Prabhupada explains what are those juicy, fatty, wholesome, pleasing to the heart. You know, you'll be saying in the another purport is saying. And then he say Katu, Amla, Lavanati, Ushna, Tikshna, Ruksha, Vidahina is saying. So you can read what are they?
Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed, and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness.
Yeah. The Prabhupada is saying what are they? See, this whole purport elaborately has written what we should eat, what we should not eat. So you all find it very helpful, correct? Because you have to eat every day, correct? No? See, food in mode of passion, which is bitter, too salty, too hot. Sometimes you eat garam aloo, you put in the mouth, it's burning the mouth, it is hot also, isn't it? And tears are coming from the eyes. The next day morning you go to washroom, while going out also it produces heat. While going in also, going out also, isn't it? So in this way then you will understand, oh, this is Rajaguna food, I should not eat. Isn't it? Yeah. Similarly, Tamaguna foods are also said. When I was traveling in the West, I saw many homes people cook only on Sunday. Sunday and Sunday they cook. Other days I wondered how they eat. They said we keep it in the fridge, we take it out and we heat it in a microwave oven and we eat it. How horrible it is. So actually, one is supposed to cook fresh and offer to Lord and eat fresh. Otherwise it is in which mode? Tamaguna. So in this way Bhagavad Gita gives us many valuable, just one more. Yuktahara viharasya Yukta cheshtasya karmasu Yukta swapna avabodhasya Yogo bhavati dukkha. Yeah.
He who is reflected in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system.
Yeah. One should not overeat and one should not undereat also. Undereating is not a problem. Most of the people have disease because of undereating or overeating. Overeating. Similarly, sleeping also. Eating too much, sleeping too much. And recreation. Somebody is watching TV 6 hours every day. Or somebody is playing cricket all day. It's called Atiseve. Chanakya also says that. Similarly, in work also, like one IT boy was working already 14 hours. His company told him, if you add 2 more hours, we will give you 10,000 more. So he just added those 2 more hours. After that, he got very sick. Every month he has to spend 10,000 for the health. So what do you think he gained? He only gained sickness. He only gained sickness. So he says that don't overwork. So in this way, Gita gives us many directions for our everyday life also. How practically useful Gita is, you will see. And also Gita answers many questions about life. Why are we suffering? Which I have not shown you. There are many verses which talk about about happiness, about suffering, about meaning and purpose of life. Why do we exist? And why this world is created. There are two machines. One is our body is one machine. Another machine is the universe, cosmos. And no machine can function without an operator. And who is the operator in this body? The soul. And who is the operator of the cosmic body? Krishna, God. So there is a big operator with a big machine, and we are a small operator with a smaller machine, about which in Gita there is a very elaborate explanation. So, anybody who doesn't know Bhagavad Gita, for instance, they are leading their life without knowing where are they going. Imagine somebody sitting in a car and, is going on the road very fastly, but he follows the traffic laws. You ask him, where are you going? He says, I don't know. What kind of travel is that? Or it is like playing a football game without a goal post. How many of you wouldn't play a football game if there is no goal post on either side? You won't want to play. Others want to play, I think, is it? Isn't it? So how would life be without a goal? That is the situation of modern day educated man. You ask him, where are you going? He says, I don't know. Where am I going? So Gita gives a very clear-cut goal. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sajnair gacchantya mudha padamavyayam tat. The goal of life is to attain that param padam. And this verse gives all qualification. You want to know the secret verse where it is? It is 15.5. 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In the 6th verse, he talks about the spiritual world. 5 and 6. Krishna is speaking in the Bhagavad Gita. So there you will know what are the qualifications I need to acquire and what is that Parampadam. What type of world is that world? So a very clear-cut goal is mentioned. So, okay, I've written Einstein, Oppenheimer, Dr. Radheshyam, Gandhi, and many other philosophers like Emerson, Henry David Thoreau. My father did an MPhil on Henry David Thoreau. So he showed me how much Henry David Thoreau has referred to Bhagavad Gita. So these people have studied deeply and they even applied it in their lives. So let us recite a shloka from Shankaracharya's Gita Mahatmya. Maline mochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrat geetamrita snanam samsaramalanashanam. He is saying, just as you bathe your body to remove all the dirt from your body, then your body becomes cleansed. And a stinking body can be made a very clean body. Similarly, in our heart also there is samsara, mala. All the dirt of material life, nashanam, which destroys it? The Gita Amritam. So he says that by studying Gita, the heart is cleansed. By bathing with water, your body is cleansed. That is the point Shankara says here. Sarvopanishado gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Parto Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Geetamritam Mahat. So try to picturize it in your mind. The whole Vedic literature is compared to a cow. And the calf is compared to Arjuna. And the milk coming from the udder of the cow is compared to the Bhagavad Gita, which Arjuna drinks. And the balanced milk is kept for all the other people to, other people like scholars and people, other people, they all can, pure devotees, everybody can drink the same milk. They can also drink. And who is the cowherd man who is arranging the cow to give milk to calf? That is Krishna. Beautiful analogy, It's a very beautiful analogy here. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Eko Mantrastasya Namanyani. Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So 4 things are said. Who is one supreme truth? Devaki Putra. Who is Devaki Putra? Krishna. That is Eko Devaki Putra Eva. And only one Shastra he says. Somebody says, I am a Christian, I have a Bible. Somebody says, I am a Muslim, I have a Quran. If they ask you, you are a Hindu, what book you have? What you should say? Bhagavad Gita. It's called Gita Upanishad. It's like a quintessence of all the Vedic literature. In Gita you will find the evidence from Upanishads also. Upanishads, Puranas, Vedas, Vedanta, everything is there in Gita. It's like one summary book. And one mantra is which mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama. So that is one mantra. And Karmapyeka means work. What is that word? Devasya Seva means devotional service. See, Shankaracharya has summarized it so beautifully. Okay, now you have activity now. Okay? Let us say. See, this is like a, what do you call it? Match the following. So you have in your mobile this one, or you don't have it? You can do it. Yeah, in a few minutes, 3-4 minutes, I will show you the answers. I will tell you. You can just draw the lines, or you can number for one on the other side. What is it you have to find out? It's very easy. See, it's not that you have only one answer on the right side. Some of the questions on the left may have more than one answers also, yeah. Now let us go. Upanishads are compared to what? Ganges waters, correct. And Bhagavad Gita? Ekam Shastram. Okay, Lord Krishna? Eko Devo. Not only Eko Devo, covered boy to milk the cow also. And Arjuna? Calf. And learned scholars? Men to drink the milk. And Hare Krishna mantra? Eko mantra. And devotional service? Karmapyekam. And pure devotees? Men to drink the milk, yeah. Okay? So let's proceed further. See, here is the very first point I mentioned here, that Bhagavad Gita is not a mythological treatise spoken by some mortal, but it is eternal, timeless, mature voice of the Supreme Lord. I will say a few words about what is this mythological. It's not a mythological treatise. You know the word mythology, it comes from Sanskrit called mithya. From the Sanskrit word mithya comes mythology. Actually, mythology means many people, many Hindus use the word Hindu mythology, but little do they know that is a very offensive word. Why? The scriptures are not mythology, they are not stories, or they are not some kind of imaginative writings, but they are real histories. Itihasa means history. Purana also means history. It is not something written by figment of imagination or something. And who coined this word mythology? Hindu mythology. In those previous years, some Indologists came to India. You know Max Muller? He was one of the first fellows to translate all the Sanskrit literature into English. So there is a letter of Max Muller where he says, I think I may be able to find it, let us see. It may come later, I think. If I get that, I can show you. Here, see, is Bhagavad Gita mythology or a historical account? See here, Max Muller, what he writes to his friend in 1876. Somebody can read it?
In 1876, Max Muller wrote to a friend, India is much riper for Christianity than Rome or Greece were at the time of St. Paul. He added that he would not like to go to India as a missionary because that would make him dependent on the government. His preference was this: I should like to live for 10 years quietly and learn the language.
What language he would learn?
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit, yeah.
And then see whether I was fit to take part in a work by means of which the old mischief of Indian priestcraft could be overthrown and the way opened for the entrance of simple Christian teaching.
Yeah.
Thus, Indologists portrayed all the Vedic literatures as mythology to promote Christianity.
You understand? It's very simple, right? They are the ones who coined the word mythology. For example, Aja, the word Aja means unborn. But the word Aja also means goat. So if the Vedic literature say God is Aja, unborn, correct now? So you would say God is goat. Similarly, the word Saindava means salt. Saindava also means horse. So in one context, the word, say I am sitting with my prasadam plate, I am telling you, please bring Saindava. What will you bring? Salt, yeah. Will you bring a horse to me? So sometimes one Sanskrit word has multiple meanings. The word Atma has 5 meanings. Atma means the body, Atma means the mind, Atma also means the intelligence, Atma also means the soul, Atma also means super soul also. So because Sanskrit is such a versatile language, it can be thoroughly misinterpreted by somebody who is envious of that context, correct now? He can change the context and twist it and turn it in such a way that he can give a meaning what he likes to give, correct now? So therefore, people like Max Muller, they twisted and distorted the meaning, calling the word mythology. That's the first thing I mentioned here. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita means it's not a mythological treatise written by some mortal, it's written by it's a timeless, mature voice of the Supreme Lord Himself, Krishna, who is addressed as Bhagavan. In Bhagavad Gita, do you ever find Sri Krishna Uvacha? It says? What it says? Bhagavan Uvacha. So the Bhaga actually means the 6 opulences. I am sure in your 12 session course you must have heard about the 6 opulences, correct now? It's all beautiful. If you take one of it, say you take wealth for example. In this world you find Lakpati, Karodpati, Arabpati, Karapati. But Krishna is Lakshmipati, correct now? All Lakshmi belongs to Him. Can anybody say that all the wealth of all universes belongs to me? Any one person can say? Yeah, Krishna can say that. Except if nobody else can say. Correct now? Similarly, you see the strength, somebody can lift 100 pounds, somebody can lift 120 pounds, 150 pounds. Sometimes in television they show these weightlifters, it appears their nerves are going to break. You've seen that, when they keep adding weights. After 150 or 200 pounds, the fellow struggles so much to lift. But when Krishna lifts, he lifts the Govardhan hill. He creates such a track record which nobody can copy. Nobody can imitate. So think about each of these opulences like that. Like you see. Okay, so here I have quoted a story of one South Indian Brahman. I'll tell you briefly about this. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, see this story illustrates what we are talking here. The spirit, the Bhagavad Gita. 2 stories I have mentioned here for understanding the spirit. Because if you read the Bhagavad Gita in the spirit of these 2 characters that I am going to tell you, then the Bhagavad Gita will unfold itself for you. Actually, in Bhagavad Gita, the word is used Radheshyam. What is the meaning of Radheshyam? Secret, yeah. Guhya. You know the word Guhya means? Confidential. There are certain things confidential in your life which you will not talk to anybody. You will not tell anybody unless they are very close friends with you, correct? In your mobile also, sometimes you send certain things to some people and certain things to everybody. Correct now? Certain confidential things you only send to some people. Correct now? So, similarly Lord Krishna says that Arjuna, you are my confidential devotee. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Rahasyam hetaduttamam. I am going to tell you the secret because you are my very intimate devotee. You will never misunderstand me, he says. Say, for example, if you ask somebody, hey, where did you study? He says, I studied in IIT Kharagpur. Then what did you do beyond that? Oh, I went to Massachusetts Institute of Technology for doing my MS. And then what you did? I did my postdoc in Harvard. And where are you placed? Oh, I am not placed anywhere. I run my own business. If somebody says, why are you so proud? You know, you are talking about IIT, you are talking about Massachusetts, you are talking about Harvard. Why don't you be humble? If somebody is asking, he will say, Prabhu, you asked me what I am doing. I just told you the truth. Similarly, Arjuna asked Krishna, Krishna, can you please tell me who is God? And Krishna said, I am God. If somebody says, why is Krishna so proud? Actually, he is telling the fact. He is telling the fact. He is not telling any lie. See, why we are disturbed when Krishna says, I am God? Like one fellow was wearing a safari and standing in a bus stop. Somebody asked him, where do you work? He said, I am working in State Bank of India. And people thought maybe he is the manager there. But when they went to State Bank of India, they saw he is only a peon there. Sipping. But sometimes a peon may wear a safari to look like a very smart big officer or somebody, correct, no? Then that is called duplicity, correct, no? But on the other hand, Krishna has no duplicity. He is speaking the truth. When he says, I am God, he is not just saying it. He opened his mouth and showed what? To his mother. So the whole universe was in his belly. Not only inside his belly, he showed outside something else to Arjuna in the 11th chapter of Gita. What did he show? Vishwarup Darshan. Not only that, I have a quote I can show you from, I'll just show you. What Brahma says, you can see yourself. Okay, let us see this. 2-3 quotes we will see. Sahasranamnam punyanam Triravrityatu yat phalam Eka avrityatu Krishnasya Nama ekam tat prayachati. See, by uttering the single name of Krishna just once, one attains the same benefit as that gained by reciting Vishnu Sahasranama 3 times. Vishnu's 1,000 names 3 times. That means 3 times you do Vishnu Sahasranam, that's equal to 1 name of Krishna. This is Brahmanda Puran. Similarly, he says, Brahma is telling Narada, please, Narada, know that I am speaking the truth when I say to you that there is no one equal to Lord Krishna. I know very well that the transcendental markings of his lotus feet which reveal him to be the Supreme Lord. And then Brahma is going to say, Brahma is speaking, see, Shodashayavadu Chinhani Maya Drishtani Tatpade. I have personally seen 16 auspicious markings on Lord Krishna's lotus feet. And then he is saying here, O best of Vaishnavas, Lord Krishna is the original Supreme Lord. Of this there is no doubt. On the lotus feet of many incarnations of the Lord, there are 2, 3, 4 or 5 of these auspicious signs. But all 16 signs are present only in one person's lotus feet. Who is that? Yeah, it says. So anybody says, I am God, catch their feet immediately. And catch their hands also. Both the hands you should check. How many symbols should be there? How many? Yeah. If you want to know what are the 16, that is also available. You can know them from the scriptures. So 3 tests you should do for anybody who claims to be God. One is check his hands and soles of the feet. That's one test. Ask him to open the mouth like a dentist. Check what is inside the belly, inside the mouth and the belly. Third thing, ask him to show Vishwarup Darshan. It's a 3 God test. You can do that. Okay, we'll come back to this later. So, when you talk about Krishna to be God, it's not just our own imagination. We actually have evidences from the scriptures. So, I was telling you, the Rahasyam, confidentiality means the relationship is intimate. Then one can understand. Like one time a shopkeeper who was a textile shop owner, So he was selling very nice things, saris and everything. So one marriage party came there. So they asked, can we get Kanchipuram silk sari for marriage we want to buy? He asked how many? They said 20. Oh, 20 saris in one shot. Per sari is getting 5,000 rupees profit. He's making. For 20 saris, how much you will get? 1 lakh just in a 5-minute transaction. So he looked into his shop, only 5 saris were there. And he needs 15 more. But he didn't tell the party that I don't have 15. He just told his brother, hey, Bhaiya, go to the godown and bring 15 more, he said. So the brother went and within 5 minutes he came back with 15 more saris. And he sold, the transaction was over. And people purchased it and 5 minutes they left immediately. Anybody knows from which godown he brought those 15 saris? Next shop only. So how did the younger brother know it? Because that is the meaning of confidential relationship. Business, they know it, correct, no? Similarly, Krishna and Arjuna are like that. So Arjuna will never misunderstand Krishna when Krishna says, I am the Supreme. The relationship is very thick between the Lord and the devotee. Lord says that, you are very dear to me, bhaktosi me, sakha cheti. And that is revealed in this pastime also. When Lord Chaitanya went to Srirangam, in the Srirangam temple there was one Brahmana reciting Bhagavad Gita but not so with good clear pronunciation. And he was trying to study with his own broken language. So there were other Brahmanas who were teasing him for his poor Sanskrit. But then he was very sincerely trying to read. So Lord Chaitanya approached him and asked him, my dear Brahman, you are struggling to read Gita, why do you do this? So the Brahman said, my spiritual master has told me to read every day Bhagavad Gita. So for his pleasure I am reading, he said. But I don't understand much because my Sanskrit is poor. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, but why are there tears in your eyes? What makes you cry tears? So he said, what to speak of understanding Gita? As soon as I pick up the Gita in my hand, I see this picture of Krishna Arjuna in the front cover. Immediately, my heart is melting in ecstasy. You see, Lord Krishna is Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayak. He is the master of millions of universes. But look at him, he is driving the chariot of his own devotee Arjuna, like a Bhakta Vatsala. So this actually melts my heart. All of you think for a moment, the CEO of a company, he is driving the car and he is telling a GET to sit behind. Will it ever happen? It can happen only in one place. Can you say where? In your dream. Isn't it? Otherwise, which CEO is going to drive his company, some young boy in his company is making him sit behind, unless he has affection for him. Correct, no? In case maybe another possibility is there, when he can make a GT sit behind, maybe his own son. Correct, no? Otherwise, it's not going to happen. CEOs generally don't drive the car, they have a driver to drive. They will sit behind. Isn't it? Here you find Krishna is not just a CEO, he is the Lord of millions of universes. He is driving the chariot, putting Arjuna behind. So, this is what Chaitanya Brahman said. Lord Chaitanya was so pleased with this answer. You see what he said, Lord Chaitanya here. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, upon seeing the devotion of Chaitanya Brahman, Lord Chaitanya embraced him and told him that you have perfected your life, my dear Brahman. He said, the perfection that you achieved in your life is better than 1,000,000 university doctorates. Because in this way Lord congratulated the man that you have achieved the perfection of reading Bhagavad Gita. Like my uncle and aunt, they live in Chennai. They go for attending some classes on Bhagavad Gita. So I find, they were telling me, when they go to those classes, some jnani type person is giving classes. So that person keeps Krishna Arjuna out of the door. He never talks about Krishna, never talks about Arjuna. They are talking about what is Sat, what is Asat, what is Atma, what is Sharir, what is Punarjanma, how to withdraw ourselves from the world, how to keep ourselves aloof. So they were getting bored. They told me that, this is what we have been learning for the last 2-3 years. And after 3 years, we don't know what to do. After reading all these things, this fellow keeps on speaking, we get nowhere. You should get somewhere, where? Nowhere. That's where you get, after reading all these things. Then I immediately told them, take this japa page. chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Told them, you chant this and keep this beautiful Radha Krishna picture. And then I told them about Krishna Arjuna. They are pure. Arjuna is a pure devotee, and Krishna is a Bhakta Vatsal. Then I told them something about Krishna from Mahabharata, from Bhagavatam. They had a big turning point in their life after that. Now my aunt is reading Bhagavatam now regularly. She's reading. She said, I cannot believe we were wasting 3-4 years getting nowhere. So therefore you will find, even though this Brahmana was actually not a very literate person, he could actually capture the spirit of Gita because the bhav for Krishna was awakened in his heart. The goal of Gita is to awaken love for Krishna. If that is not awakened, then the study of Gita is simply a scholarly, effort. It's like one has to break one's head, one will get nowhere. Here comes a very important point. Somebody can read this?
The Mayavadis are persons who consider the form of Lord Krishna to be Maya or made of material elements. Out of envy, they deny the Sachidananda spiritual form of the Lord.
Yeah, so do you know what is Krishna's body made up of? Ishvaraha, all of you. Parama, Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir, Adir, Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam. Brahma's beautiful verse, Ishvara means controller. So, actually everybody is a controller. Even an ant is a controller. Sometimes in a corner you find there are dozens of ants moving, isn't it? And they have a leader ant also. And that leader is a Ishwar. He is controlling the ants. You take a hose pipe and throw water, what happens to the leader? And all the other ants, they will all be washed away. So now you understand that you are a bigger Ishwar than that small Ishwar ant. And then when the demigods, Devatas are putting a tsunami, like in Lanka tsunami we had, then all the human beings who are Ishwaras are washed away. Then Devatas are bigger. Then when there is a pralaya which comes in the whole universe, then Devatas are also washed away. So in this way there are bigger and bigger and bigger Ishwaras, higher and higher. And who is the supreme Ishwar? Krishna. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Even Shruti mantra say that. Tam Daivatanam Paramam Cha Daivatam Patim Patinam Paramam Parastat Vidamadevam Bhuvaneshwamidhyam Yasmat Param Na Paramasti Kinchit. Beyond him there is no one, it says. Yasmat Param Na Paramasti Kinchit Yasmat Nani Yojo Yosti Kinchit. Which means small. He is smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, it says. So in this way, the Mayavadis actually do not know of the Sachidananda form. They look at the form of Krishna which looks like a two-handed form, and he looks like a human being, so they consider him to be ordinary human being. So we'll recite one verse from Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanuvashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Please read this one.
The fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be.
Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayah param bhavam ajananto mamavyayam anuttamam.
Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
Yeah, see how simple Sanskrit. If any of you know little Sanskrit, immediately you will understand. Avyaktam means impersonal. Vyaktim means personal. Apannam means obtained. If somebody thinks I was impersonal before, now I have obtained this personal form. Manyante, jo log mante hain. Mam abuddhayah means what? They are unintelligent fellows. So clear it is. Brahmano hi pratishtaham, which means, see here, see, Brahmanaha hi pratishtaham. I am the resting place for the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, 14.27. I am the resting place for Brahma Jyoti. That means Brahma Jyoti rests in Krishna. Which means, like the bulb can say, I am the resting place of the impersonal light that permeates the room. The light is the resting place. Similarly, Krishna's personality is the resting place for the Brahma Jyoti. This is 14.27. We can say many things like this. Coming back here, therefore Krishna has a very, very beautiful Sundar Swarupam. Like we said, Ishwaraha Parama Krishna, what is his Rupam? Satchidananda Vigraha. And then he's saying, Anadir means, somebody may ask, where did Krishna come from? People ask, no? Like you have one bogie of the train moving. How is it moving? The previous bogie is pulling. How is that bogie moving? The previous one. If you keep on going, you will arrive at the engine. Ahead of engine, who is pulling the engine? Nobody is there. That is Krishna. So Krishna is like the engine who pulls all the bogies of all the Brahmandas with all the people. Is it clear to everyone? Anadir Adir Govinda is it. Then go ahead, Prabhuji. Who was reading?
Their goal is not to serve the Lord, but to merge with the impersonal Supreme Brahman and become God.
Okay, I will tell about this little bit. Say, right now in the material world, we are all in the negative axis now. Say, we are in, say, minus 800. In this world, when you get some little happiness, you go from minus 800 to minus 500. Or minus 200 or something like that. But we are all hovering in which platform? Negative platform. And the jnanis want to go to 0, 0. Because 0, 0 there is Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And when you go to the positive axis, there is Paramananda, that is Vaishnava, platform is positive. So the Buddhists and the Jains, they are all in the 0, 0. And the materialistic people in this world are in negative axis. And those are Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord who meet the Lord in Vaikuntha, they are in positive axis. So in negative axis, you get misery. 0, 0, you get peace. And positive axis you get Ananda, happiness. Is that clear? For example, in a home, husband and wife are having a big quarrel, they are in negative axis. And then they decide, you live in that room, I live in this room, that is very peaceful. They are in 0, 0. And they have a sweet, loving relationship, they are in positive axis. That means which is superior? Is peace superior or love superior? Love is superior to peace. If husband and wife successfully don't quarrel for 1 week because they live in 2 separate rooms, that is not a great success. Only, of course, they have some peace now because they are not fighting. But that peace is not as great as when they have a loving relationship, which is similarly with Krishna also. We have all quarreled and come here to this world. We have come to this world. So we are in which axis now? Negative axis. Now you go to Brahma Jyoti and you relax there. There you don't find Krishna, you find impersonal Brahma Jyoti. What is that? It is 0, 0, peace. Therefore, jnanis want to go to Brahma Jyoti. Why? They don't want to connect with the Lord. They want to relax. They don't want to do service. But if you go to positive axis, you will meet the Lord face to face, like Hanuman met Ram, like Arjuna met Krishna, like that. So that is positive axis. Is that clear? Go ahead. Read further, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thus, their small brains cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can become the charioteer of his devotee and carry out his orders. The message of Bhagavad Gita is confidential and will remain hidden to the mundane scholars who try to misinterpret the Lord's words. They do so out of envy for the Lord and to put themselves in the forefront. Such commentators can be compared to a bee licking the outside of a bottle of honey. One cannot have the taste of honey unless one opens the bottle and licks the contents. No matter how much one is well versed in computer software, one cannot do anything without knowing the password of the computer. Similarly, the password to the understand Bhagavad Gita is the spirit of devotion and submissiveness to the Lord and his devotees.
The spirit of devotion. So the South Indian Brahman had devotion. Like you will see in our ISKCON, there is one great Vaishnava, his name is Satsubdas Maharaj Goswami. So he was Prabhupada's disciple who wrote the Prabhupada Lilananda book. So one time he went to meet one professor in America who had done, research on Krishna and Radharani and Geeta Govindam. He had done his doctorate thesis. And he had also written papers on Jiva Goswami also. So when he went to meet him in his college, as soon as he opened the door and said, "Please may I come in?" And the professor said, "Yes." Then he asked, "Sir, are you the same professor?" This and that. He said, "Yes." I said, "You are the one who has done Gita Govindam and Jiva Goswami's this thing." He said, "Yes." Then immediately this Maharaj raised his hands and said, "Hari Bol," he said. And the professor was wondering, what Hari Bol? Because he was simply a scholar. He had no devotion. And while talking to him also, he was smoking cigarette. In another hand, with one hand he was having a cigarette. So he immediately understood, this fellow is studying Sanskrit and all theoretically. He has no devotion to Krishna. Nor does he even believe Krishna is God. So there are people like that. Such scholarly exercise, will it help in any way? That's what he is saying here. So on the other hand, the South Indian Brahmin may not be a great scholar, but he has devotion. So the end result of all our classes and all which we do is ultimately to become what? Become a scholar? What, yeah? Become a devotee. If you don't achieve that, the main thing you have lost, if you don't have that. Imagine one of you sitting here, say you have a watch business. You are a watch salesman. So you wear a nice coat, suit, boot, tie, you carry a suitcase, you're supposed to carry the watches. And then you're standing in the marketplace, some people come and say, "Oh, you look very smart, with coat, suit, boot, tie and everything. And what do you want to sell?" And you open the suitcase and find there's nothing inside. You forgot to bring the watch. It's like that if you don't have devotion. You understand? Everything else is there. But the main item is not there. So Prabhupada went to an assembly in India. They had this Gita Samiti, they said. And they invited Prabhupada. Prabhupada went to the stage and saw there was no, there was no picture of Krishna. Prabhupada asked, "Hey, what kind of Gita Samiti you guys are running?" He asked, even if you go to a political meeting, you will often find, Gandhi, Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Some photos will be there. Correct, no? Similarly, when you come for a Gita Samiti program, what do you expect? Krishna should be there. Maybe Krishna Arjuna can be there. Or some photo of Radha Krishna should be kept. And they only had a lamp. Prabhupada asked, "Why you have only the lamp?" They said, "No, we think we only consider Nirakar." Said, "But where does Krishna say I am Nirakar?" Show in Bhagavad Gita. Where does he say that? Actually, Sarkar is Nirakar. But behind Sarkar, Narendra Modi is not Nirakar. Behind Sarkar, who is there? Prime Minister is there, who is running the Sarkar. So similarly, Brahma Jyoti is Nirakar, but Lord is not Nirakar. So Prabhupada had a very heated argument with them, because you will find that there are many people in India who read Bhagavad Gita but put aside Krishna Arjuna, and there's loving relationship between the two. Then we get nowhere. Then it's only a scholarly exercise. Okay, let us do this activity. See here. See, I have given you words here, you have to fill it up. Somebody can read this,
Although Bhagavad Gita is well known, only one who has taken it up in a spirit of dash.
What is the dash?
Spirit of devotion.
Yes.
I can understand it. Bhagavad Gita is not a dash treatise spoken, mythological treatise, okay. Spoken by some mortal.
Yes.
But it is dash, eternal, timeless, mature voice of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is addressed as Bhagavan, the possessor of all six opulences.
Correct, you have got it, okay. Okay, here is a picture you see of this is picture of once Krishna and Arjuna, they both went to Dwaraka. Actually first Duryodhana was entering the palace. Arjuna was coming in a horseback. As soon as Arjuna reached, he saw Duryodhana going in. And Arjuna also followed behind him. And then Duryodhana went and sat at the feet of, Duryodhana sat at the side of Krishna. At that time Krishna was sleeping. One queen was fanning him. And Arjuna went and sat at the lotus feet of Krishna. So when Krishna opened his eyes, whom did he see first? Arjuna he saw. Then he turned around and he also saw Duryodhana also. Then he told to both of them, "See, both of you are related to me. And I know why you both have come. You both are actually seeking help for the war which is going to come. And Krishna said, I will definitely help both of you. And he said, I have 10,000 Narayani Sena with me. And also he said, on the other side, I can myself be present. The only thing is, because you both are relatives, I don't want to lift any weapon. I don't want to fight with anybody. Now you have the choice to choose. So immediately Duryodhana raised his hand and said, can I make the choice? So Krishna said, wait a minute. First I saw whom amongst both of you? Arjuna. And besides that, the younger one should be given the first opportunity. Generally in a home also, the last child is most loved by the parents, is it not true? The younger one. And the younger one should be given the opportunity. Let them choose, and whatever is balance, the other one can take, like that he said. So Duryodhana was waiting with bated breath because he was a little worried what choice Arjuna will make. And Arjuna, without any hesitation, he chose what? Krishna. And Duryodhana could not conceal his joy. He was wondering, how did fool that this fellow, maybe his sentimental attachment to Krishna, overpowered his reason, due to which he chose Krishna. And then Duryodhana smiled and said, okay, Keshava, now I am left behind only with Narayana Sen, I will take it. Now my job is done, I am going back now, bye-bye. And he went away. Then Krishna turned to Arjuna and asked, Arjuna, why did he choose me? I am not going to lift any weapons. Arjuna said, whether you lift weapons or not, in whichever person's side you are there, that side will emerge victorious. And Arjuna had full conviction in that. And that happened also. Jayastu Panduputranam Yasham Pakshe Janardana, it is said. They emerged successful. But the story has a very deep meaning. You see, Duryodhana was a materially calculative person. He saw that in my mathematical equation, where does Krishna fit? And he thought Krishna is useless. What to do with this person? He will not even lift any weapon in the battle. What will I gain by keeping this fellow? So he removed Krishna from his equation. And on the other hand, he thought 10,000 Narayani Sena people means they are all mighty fellows, and they will help me to fight the battle. That's how he calculated. Many times we also in this world can see, we calculate things very materially. And Arjuna made what calculation? Spiritual calculation. He knew that although Krishna may be only one, imagine if you ask you want 20 zeros or you want one, which one will you choose? Yeah, one. One has some value. Whether it's 20 zeros or 200 zeros, zero is zero only. All our material qualifications are like zeros, string of zeros. You put a 1 in the front, then the values get added up. If it is 1 0, it becomes 10. If it is 5 zeros, it becomes bigger, correct, no? 1 lakh it becomes. So, in this way, Duryodhana's calculation is very mundane and material calculation. You can read this one. Read this one. No?
This devotional spirit of Arjuna towards Krishna is an essential ingredient for understanding Bhagavad Gita.
See, this devotional spirit of Arjuna is explained elsewhere in Mahabharata also. One day, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the night time, Krishna got up almost at midnight, and he was going out of his tent, and Bhima was surprised. He thought at midnight, where is Krishna going? So as Krishna walked, Bhima also slowly followed behind. Seeing Bhima getting up, Yudhishthira also got up. He followed Bhima behind. Then Nakul Sahadev also got up. They followed Yudhishthira behind. So all 4 Pandavas were going. And Krishna entered into the tent of Arjuna. He entered inside, and Bhima wanted to see what is going on. So he tore the tent and he was watching from the tent. So he saw Krishna going to Arjuna, and Krishna was touching Arjuna's body with his palms. In whichever place there were wounds, and he was healing it instantly. He would touch it, like that to get healed instantly. I don't know which one is it. Is it move or something? Where you put it's gone, they say. Which is one? Is it? Gender bomb, is it? Okay. They say it's gone, again comes back. It turns out, again it pains. You have seen that? It goes and comes again. Whereas Krishna could actually heal it simply by his touch, divine touch. And Bhima was amazed seeing this. Then Bhima entered the tent. The Yudhishthira entered the tent, all of them. And Bhima congratulated Krishna, wonderful, very nice. You healed. And Krishna said, shh, don't make any noise. And then he caught hold of Bhima's ears and put it on Arjuna's feet. And Arjuna could, Bhima could hear the sound, Krishna, Krishna, like that. Every roam was chanting. Then Krishna told him, put your ears on the forehead, on the head. Every hair of Arjuna's body was chanting. Krishna, 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 He Krishna, 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 He Krishna, 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 He Krishna, 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 He Krishna, Krishna. So these are the mantras Lord Chaitanya chanted when he went to South India for preaching in the forest. Krishna, 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 Hey. So Arjuna's every roam was chanting like this. And then Krishna told Bhima, you are asking me why did I wake up in the midnight? What can I do? This fellow is calling my name continuously. How can I not wake up? He said. That is the devotional spirit of Arjuna, which is the essential ingredient for understanding Bhagavad Gita. Read further.
Duryodhana was materially calculative, lacking understanding of Krishna's supremacy. Arjuna chose the Lord owing to his love for him, whereas Duryodhana chose the Lord's energies owing to his desire to exploit them to fulfill his own selfish interests.
So Duryodhana was actually selfishly oriented, whereas Arjuna had a great love for the Lord. He wanted to assist Krishna's Dharma Yuddha. Arjuna never wanted to fight the battle, but Krishna wanted to establish Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. So Arjuna and Pandavas assisted, whereas Duryodhana's eagerness was what? He was very selfish. I will take over the whole world and enjoy it. Yes, go ahead.
Ask yourself this question, to whom will you be attracted? To someone who loves you and just wants to exchange love with you, or to any another person? Who comes to you to flatter you and to get some money from you because you are rich?
Imagine somebody comes and tells you, hey, you look very cute in this dress. Your hairstyle is beautiful, your dress is beautiful. And then they tell you, can you give me 1 lakh rupees? I need for this or that. Another day comes and tells you, hey, your car is so nice. It's a shining car. And then can you give 2 lakh rupees now? So every time that fellow praises you, what is the question that will come in your mind?
How much you are?
Now what is he going to ask now? Correct, no? Because you know that he is praising me he is flattering me. In Hindi we call it chapalusi, we call it flattery. So most people who are religious people also go to various gods and they flatter the gods. And then they get some different things from them. But you will see Arjuna is a pure devotee. He doesn't demand anything from Krishna. He just wants to love and serve Krishna. Hanuman is also such a devotee. So therefore, there is a materialist, there is a spiritualist. So Duryodhana was? Materialist means for the materials only. Money, 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 money is honey. And similarly material goods, collecting them. They have nothing to give and take with the person. They only want his pocket. They are not interested in the person. This is what makes it very important. So, are you interested in the person Krishna? Or are you interested in his pocket? His pocket means Lakshmi. Krishna gives Lakshmi in the chest now. So, there are people, you go to some Sethji shops, they have a deity of Lakshmi like this. Gold coins are falling from the hands. You have seen like that? So, I went to one such shop, I asked him, sir, you have Lakshmi in your shop, but where is Narayan? He said, Narayan is not required, Lakshmi is enough. If she keeps giving gold. Yeah, then I told that fellow, see, Ravana also took only who with him? Did he take Sita Ram with him or only Sita? Why? Because he wanted to exploit Sita. He didn't want Ram. Then I told him, if anybody takes only Sita and not take Ram with Sita, then he becomes a mini Ravana, isn't it? So he got frightened. Immediately he got Narayan also. Then he said, worship Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan together. Yeah. You see, you call Narayan to your house, then Lakshmi has to come following Narayana, correct, no? Immediately you will find. Therefore we like Shubha Labh. Labh means Lakshmi. Shubha means Narayan. So Lakshmi Narayana are together. And you remove Narayan, only Labh. What is Labh? Labh is a lobe. Our lobe, what is lobe? Lobe, Papa ka Baap hai. Lobe is the father of corruption. All kinds of sin. So, therefore we should not want only love. We should want what? Shubh love, we say. Lakshmi Narayan together. So you will find always the devotees of the Lord, like what Hanuman did. He brought Sita and Ram together. What Ravana did? He separated Sita and Ram and wanted to take only Sita. So this is very clear for us. Materialists, what the materialists do? They separate God and the Lakshmi and they want to take only Lakshmi. Everybody wants to get more and more Lakshmi for enjoying. So that Lakshmi is called Chanchala. Chanchala means what? She doesn't stay in one pocket. She hops and jumps. And Lakshmi in this world, you know what is her Vahan? Anybody knows? What is Lakshmi's Vahan? Owl. Do you know that? Why owl? Because owl is awake when? Whole night. Similarly, people who make lot of money are awake whole night. Yeah. And another meaning of night means night time is the time when people do all kinds of wrong activities. The very same money becomes a source of all sinful activities and people are destroyed by that. So one should never want Lakshmi alone. Whereas this fellow, Duryodhana wants only Narayana Sena, which is Krishna's energy. He doesn't want energetic, he wants only energy. So our Vaishnava path means we want the energetic and energy together. We worship Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, Lakshmi Narayan, like that we worship. You see, imagine if a beautiful woman walks on the road, for example, there will be dozens of men who will be staring at her with a desire to enjoy. Immediately a man comes from behind her with a big moustache and says, "Hey, what do you want?" Immediately all fellows will fold their tail and keep quiet. Oh, we don't want anything, they'll run away. Because a woman is protected by the man. When a man and woman are together, one gives up the exploiting mentality. You agree? Yes. You understand what I am saying? Therefore we should worship Lord along with his energy. Energy, energetic, Shakti, Shaktiman together. I read further?
Yeah, one is attracted to you. The one is attracted to you, the other to your pocket. Similarly, devotees like Hanuman are attracted to the Supreme Lord Rama and his service. On the other hand, demons like Ravana are attracted to the Lord's energy, Mother Sita. Thus, such demons want the kingdom of God without God.
What they want?
Kingdom of God.
Kingdom of God? They tell God, you give the kingdom and you go back, we will take care. They want to enjoy, yeah.
And so they invite their own destruction.
Yeah.
The Lord tells us about the position of Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita.
Which I told you, yeah. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti, yeah. Now activity now for you. So, I don't know how to show all of them. There are totally 6 of them are there. If you see in your mobile, you can. It's not very difficult. It is, okay, I'll make it a little smaller. Okay. First one, read that, first one.
Be licking outside of honey bottle.
What is that?
Devotees out of
No. Only that much only. This is, second line is not there.
Sure.
Okay. Be licking outside of honey bottle. Anybody can see the right side and tell me?
Demons attracted to Lord's energy.
Actually, no. Mundane scholars. Yeah. Mundane scholars commentary on Gita. Okay. That is be licking outside of honey bottle. Second one, probably you can read.
Millions of university doctorates.
The answer is Brahmana's perfection. The Chaitanya, they have told him, that your perfection is so great, it is even better than getting millions of doctorates. There is Brahmana's perfection. Okay, third one.
Opulence of renunciation. Lord becoming
Lord becoming servant of his devotees out of love, that is opulence of renunciation. Yeah, that's opulence of renunciation.
Thought makes me cry.
Which thought made that Brahmana cry? How Partharathi is? Bhaktavatsal, correct.
Wherever you are, there will be victory.
Arjuna told Krishna, correct.
Kingdom of God without God.
Demons are attracted to Lord's energy. They want the kingdom of God without God. They want only energy of the Lord, correct? Yeah. So, now we are coming to the last part in this chapter, requirements for understanding the Gita. See, this is a very important question. You know what is symbolic? Some scholars say, you see, Krishna and Arjuna, all this is all mythology. There is nothing like Krishna and Arjuna or anything like that. They say this Kurukshetra is like our body, and the chariot is, chariot is like our body, Kurukshetra is like the world, and then Krishna is actually like the intelligence, and Arjuna is like the conditioned soul like us, and the horses are like the senses, and they speculate many things. They try to get allegorical equivalents. But if you see, even today you go in the train, you will get a Kurukshetra station. Correct, no? The place called Kurukshetra exists or not? There is a Gita museum there. In fact, that museum talks about even the nuclear fuels that were used in the battle of Kurukshetra. They're like Brahmastra and all. A lot of things dug from the ground during Kurukshetra, and they are all displayed there. You can see that. Any of you have seen one movie about Professor Rao who did research in Dwaraka? Any of you have seen it? Oh, you have that with you? I will check whether I have it here. Actually, there is a video. Definitely you all should see that. It's a 20-minute video. Dwaraka. These are all dug from Dwaraka. Dwaraka excavations. So there are palaces of Dwaraka underwater. This is just a photo, JPG photo, but there is a whole video available. This is also Dwaraka palaces. But there is a video you should watch, it's very important. Okay, I will pass it on to Prabhu. Prabhuji will show you in one of your future classes. I don't have it here, but I'll send it later. It's only 20 minutes, Prabhu. It's only 20 minutes video. 20 minutes, but Professor Rao has done his doctorate with many of his students. They have brought out many things which are used 5,000 years ago, and the coins and many things like that. So he has very categorically proved that a person called Krishna existed 5,000 years ago, and such a culture existed. Palaces have been found inside the ocean. Now, in the same manner, Kurukshetra and the Pandavas' existence. So these are all actually proven by many people who have excavated things. Yeah. Okay, when once George Harrison met Srila Prabhupada, he asked, Swamiji, you call your Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita? What do you think about other Gitas? They are not useful at all. Why do you claim yours to be as it is? Sometimes you people criticize the other Gitas. And Prabhupada asked a very frank question. He said, see, so many, almost 1,000 interpretations of Gita are there, maybe 700-800. So he said that most of these Gitas are sleeping in the libraries, dust covered. Sometimes you go to America, you take it out from a library, it is just covered with dust, there's nobody following it. But when this Gita went to the West, within 4 years, there were American girls who were wearing miniskirts, they started wearing saris. American men started wearing dhoti kurtas, dancing in the streets, singing the holy name. So Prabhupada said, if really Bhagavad Gita is presented as an actual truth, he said it should be like the sun shining in the sky. Nobody can hide it. And he said, people who follow Bhagavad Gita should be addicted to Krishna. And then Prabhupada asked, you tell me in this entire planet, who are the people addicted to Krishna? And George Harrison thought for a while and said, oh, they are ISKCON devotees. I can see that, because ISKCON devotees, for them, Krishna is their pran. At every moment they talk about Krishna, they chant the Krishna's names, they eat only prasad offered to him. And then he said, I agree now, he said, most places people write Bhagavad Gita commentaries, but they don't apply in their lives. They don't follow it, because the commentaries are all written in a very skewed way or distorted way. The writer has put his own thoughts. So, yeah. So I told about this mythological thing, and then, okay. Please read this one.
Srila Prabhupada writes Agama, which is coming from higher plane, not manufactured here. Agama Purana, and Purana means the old history of the world. Purana.
Puran means what? Old, yeah. Yes. Itihas means history. Yes.
Purana means very old. Nitya Sasvatoyam Purano, BG 2.20. In Hindi it is called Purana. Purana means old. The Puranas means the old history, not only of this world but of the whole universe.
Yeah.
It is important to know that Ramayana and Mahabharata are real histories that took place and were carefully recorded. And the Bhagavad Gita, which forms a part of Mahabharata, also is a historical event that took place at Jyotisar Kurukshetra, which is worshipped by millions even today.
So, this is very important, that Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are not stories. See, if you read Harry Potter, you will not get purified. But if you read Mahabharata, Ramayana, you will be purified. Because it's a spiritual literature. So there are many, like you hear about Batman or, He-Man, Spider-Man, which children like to watch. Why? Because there is an adventurous spirit in the nature of the soul. Soul wants to see adventure. But when they don't read this literature, then they go for Spider-Man, He-Man, and they have Disney World, SL World, all concocted, characters, Mickey Mouse and all those different things. So, if you are going to absorb your consciousness in Mickey Mouse and all this, like, I used to collect this Walt Disney stamp, from the newspaper, and I made a kind of a TV show kind of thing with that in my school days. Later on, I thought you will keep on watching the dog again, over and over again. You become only dog consciousness, you don't become God conscious. Isn't it? So, instead of going through those characters which will never purify our hearts, one should study the characters of Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Because these are all spiritual literature, real life literature, and they will purify us. Yeah, this I already told you. Yeah, one more activity. Yeah, please read it.
Modern scientists, based on the research on excavations, have proved that a personality called Sri Krishna existed 5,000 years ago, and that well-developed city Dwaraka also existed. The exhibits of such excavations can be seen today in the museums of Kurukshetra and Dwaraka. This proves that Bhagavad Gita is real.
No, you have to find out which are the answers.
Is real and not symbolic.
Which A, B, C, D, you have to say which one? C is the answer. Bhagavad Gita is real. Of course, somebody may say A and C also. A and C, but out of the two, which is most correct? C. Yeah, read the next one.
One should never twist the actual truth and try to pull out some allegorical meaning.
Now you find out there are 4 answers. Okay, I'll push them to one, this thing only. One side. Yeah, which one? See, the question was what? One should never twist the actual truth. A. Only A? All of them. A, B, C, D. All are correct, yeah. Yes, next.
The word Hindu mythology was coined by Indologists.
Yes? Yeah, A, C and D.
A, C and D, correct.
A, C and D. Why B is not correct? Okay, who can say why B is not correct? Actually the Hindu mythology was coined by Indologists to cheat the Indians and not to enlighten the Hindus. Because it was actually done by Max Muller and others in order to divert the people from their own culture. Therefore, there is no enlightenment there. There is only fooling the people.
Miseducation. Miseducation.
Miseducation, correct. Yes, this one?
Agama Purana means coming from...
Okay, I'll push it to the next page. Together you can see.
Coming from higher plane, not manufactured here.
Which one?
It's coming from higher plane, not manufactured here.
Agama Purana means B, which is coming from higher plane, not manufactured here. Yeah. Actually the C, C is for Mahabharata, Ramayana, which is old and real history of not only this world but of the whole universe. The most appropriate answer is B. Yeah, then
Bhagavad Gita forms a part of
B, Mahabharata. The recorded real history of Greater India, Mahabharata, correct? And historical event took place, BCD.
The goal of Bhagavad Gita is
Surrender and worship Krishna. A, the central point and main subject of Gita.
Which one? Only A. That's a goal. Okay? Only A. So, this I told you, Krishna is not a simply mystic yogi or learned man. Some people consider Krishna to be a great diplomat. Some people think he was a great king of Dwaraka. Some people think he was just a coward boy. Many people think many things about him. But Krishna is not an ordinary man, nor is he an extraordinary man. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada says Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Narada, Deva, Lasita, all of them are accepted. If you see, I'll just show you one this thing. See, when Krishna appeared in the jail of Kamsa, he showed a 400 form. Tamadbhutam balakamam bhujekshanam, it is said. Chaturbhujam shanka kadayudayudam. Chaturbhujam means what? 4 hands. Chanka, chakra, kada, padma he displayed. And he was also wearing a pitambar dress. He was wearing a peacock feather. He had a curly locks of hair. And the child was smiling also. Generally children do what they do when they are born. But he was smiling. And he had a lot of ornaments in his body. And he told his parents about the 2 previous births, Prishni, Sutapa, and then later on Aditi, Kashyapa. And now your name is Devaki, Masudev. Child is speaking all that. No child speaks at the time of birth. So this is called divinity of Krishna's appearance. How divine it is. Not only that, Yamuna giving way when Vasudev carried an Anantashish, protecting the child. Krishna showing his mouth and the whole universe. What is this one? Vishwarupa Darshanam. In this world also you find the 6 opulences. Isn't it? But it's a minuteness in this world you find. Whereas the same you find in Krishna in full. All these opulences. Okay, I'll go ahead. See, this is Vedavyas, who glorifies Krishna as Supreme. Please repeat this verse. Agastvam rishayah sarve deva rishir naradastatha asito devalo vyaso swayam chaiva pravishi me. Please read.
All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa confirm that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
See, generally sages are Brahmanas and Kshatriya kings would offer them obeisances. But when the sages saw Krishna, they offered obeisances to him. Have you ever seen any saintly person offering obeisances to the king? But in Krishna's case, because they knew he is Supreme Lord. See, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all have confirmed that he is the Supreme Person. This I already told you before. Okay, this is Bhrigu test. This is another pastime. Actually, here you find, this is from Maha Upanishad. Please repeat this. Eko vai Narayana asin, na Brahma, na Ishano, na Apo, na Agni, samau neme, yaya aprithivi, na nakshatrani, na suryasa. So it says there was no sun, there was no moon, there was no earth, there was no nakshatra, wind, or sky, anything. And in the dawn of creation only who existed?
Supreme Person.
Only Narayana existed. Eko vai Narayana asit. Okay. And then it goes on like this. See? Narayana Brahma Jayate, Narayana Prajapati Prajayate, Narayana Indra Jayate. Which means from Narayana Brahma was born, Prajapatis were born, Indra was born, 8 Vasus were born, 11 Rudras were born, 12 Adityas were born. Now it appears that Narayana is supreme, because everything comes from Narayana, isn't it? So Vishnu, Ram and Krishna. So this is, who is this line? So what Bhishma is telling, let's repeat this verse. Yesha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman. See, having established Narayana as the source of Shiva, Brahma, Indra, everybody, here we find Bhishma is telling that, hey Pandavas, in front of all of you, the person who is sitting here, Yesha means he is showing hand to him. He is Adyo Narayana, he is saying. Adi Narayana means original copy of Narayana, which means all other Narayanas are Xerox copies. Who is the original Narayana? Krishna. Either he is telling. So from Krishna, all other Narayanas come, he says this. This is Markandeya Rishi. Markandeya Rishi once came to meet the Pandavas in the forest. At that time, Narada was already there with Krishna and the Pandavas. So actually Krishna was about to give a lecture to the Pandavas. But Narada came, then Krishna sat down and said, no, let Narada ji speak. And Narada was about to begin, Markandeya Rishi came. Then Narada said, now Markandeya Rishi is much longer time he is living, so let him speak. So then while speaking he spoke this. He said, Pandavas, do you know, one time I suddenly saw the Pralaya waters coming in all 4 directions. They engulfed the whole universe. And I was drowning in those waters. Big sharks would come to devour me and they would go away. My whole body was full of bruises and pain. At that time I found one Vatavriksha in one corner. And there I found a Vatapatra Shahi. In the Vatapatra, one blue child was lying like this. The child was very beautiful looking, like a diamond, Neela diamond, Neelamani. So he said, the child was wearing a peacock feather and a smiling face. And this is what the child was doing. See what he is doing. He is taking his own thumb of his feet and putting in the mouth. Why? Because he wants to know what is there in my feet that my devotees always glorify my lotus feet, lotus feet. Let me see the dust myself. So he's putting in his mouth. So he said, when I saw the child, all my pain was gone. I became jolly to see the child. I went close to the child swimming and asked, hey my dear baby, tell me, who are you? And the child just smiled. I said, he inhaled. I went into his nose. And inside his belly, what did I find? Same things. There were Pralaya waters, the Himalayan mountain was standing, and everything else was washed away by the waters. Big Pralaya. I wondered how inside the child's belly so many things are existing. Then when the child exhaled, now I was thrown outside. Then again I saw the beautiful child. I didn't know how to talk to him. The child began speaking to me. He said, my dear child Markandeya, I think he called. So I was wondering, is he a child or am I a child? And then the child spoke, my name is Hari. People call me as Vishnu. People call me as Krishna. I am Adi Purusha. I existed at the dawn of creation. And when there is a pralaya, all the pralaya waters go into my mouth. I create millions of universes. And when pralaya comes, I devour everything into my belly. And I exist in all the three phases of time, past, present and future. And I exist in all the four phases of consciousness, namely Jagrati, Swapna, Sushupti and Samadhi. I always exist. And then he told Markandeya, you are my pure devotee, so I gave you my darshan. I bless you that you will have an unfailing memory. You will remember this pastime always in your heart. And you will have Ichamrityu. So two boons he gave him, unfailing memory and Ichamrityu. And then the child, everything vanished. So now Markandeya told all the Pandavas, hey Pandavas, don't think of this Krishna to be ordinary. He's the same person whom I saw as a child. Padaravinde Kararavindam Kararavinde Viniveshayantam Patasya Patrasya Puteshayanam Balam Mukundam Manasa Smarami. Like that he recited a prayer. The child who picked up his thumb and put in the mouth. His lotus feet were like lotus, his hand was like lotus, everything was tender, so beautiful. And then he says that Balam Mukundam Manasas. I remember that Balam Mukundam. Like that he said. So he told them, this is the Supreme Lord Adi Purusha. Hearing that, all the Pandavas immediately fell on the ground and offered namaskar to Krishna. But of course the Pandavas used to forget Krishna to be God because they thought of him to be maternal cousin. Very intimately they thought of him like that. So now I told you Bhishma saying Krishna is the original Narayana. Then I told you Markandeya Rishi saying, one more thing comes to my mind. You all know when Krishna went as a Shanti Dut to palace of Duryodhana. At that time Satyaki and Kritavarma, they both were on either side of Krishna. They were also Yadus. So when Krishna entered the palace and he went and sat, Satyaki leaned and told in Krishna's ears that, my lord, do you know, I heard Duryodhana has hatched a plot to capture you. And Krishna laughed and said, you see, all the 33 crores devatas together cannot catch me. This one tiny thought, what can he do? Let us see what he is going to do. Then Krishna stood up and spoke in their assembly about the peace message. At one time, Duryodhana's eyes were going here, there, and he clapped hands and said, immediately 1,000 soldiers came, with chains and everything in their hands. And from the top, a cage also fell on Krishna. So when the cage came exactly on Krishna and fell over him, and all the prisoners, all the soldiers, they all besieged Krishna in the center like this. At that time, the cage exploded and Krishna took a form from earth to sky, a tall form, somewhat like looking like Vishnu, with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in the hands like this. And from his two eyes came Krishna, his eyes came Balaram and Arjuna. And from his shoulders, all the Lokapalas were there, like our Varuna and Kubera and Indra, Yama, they were all there on the shoulders. And behind Krishna's body, there were all the Pancha Pandavas. And above Krishna, all the devatas were showering flowers from the sky. And the form was huge form. And the ocean waves were rising. They were rising sky high and the stars were falling. And winds were blowing. And all the Vedic mantras were chanted. The Purusha Sukta prayers. Sahasrashesha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. Like that, all the chant could be heard. So Dhritarashtra became very curious. He asked, what is it? He asked Sanjaya, please tell me, what is going on? And Sanjaya said, the Lord is giving a very extraordinary darshan. And Dhritarashtra begged Krishna, can you please give me the eyes to see you, Krishna? And Krishna said, Tadastu. And then he got the eyes to see. Then he saw Bhishma was falling on the ground and offering namaskar. And Dronacharya was offering namaskar. Kripacharya was offering namaskar. So he also fell to the ground. Dhritarashtra also. All bhaktas, they all offered obeisances. And then afterwards Krishna resumed his two-handed form and sat silently. And Duryodhana was like shell-shocked seeing this form. So he turned to Shakuni uncle and asked, "Uncle, what is this? What is the jadoo Krishna is showing?" He called it as a jadoo. Little did he know Krishna is supreme. So one Vishwarupa Krishna showed in Kurukshetra battle, and this is another Vishwarupa which he showed in the palace. Yeah, this I told you. Yeah, these things I showed you just now. You can read this also, please read it. Mumukshava ghora rupan hitva bhutapati natha narayana kalashanta bhajanti hi anasuyavah. Yeah, translation.
Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all-blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions.
See, this is a Bhadrakali form. Very famous, worshipped in Calcutta, isn't it? You find this. So these are called as Ghora Rupan. You heard about Kala Bhairava. Like that, there are many forms, Chandi, Chamandi, Bhadrakali. So I used to go in my 8th standard to one Kali Mata temple. I was very fond of worshipping Devi. So I used to go to the temple regularly. So one day I went in my cycle to worship Kali, that Devi. As soon as I entered the temple premises, I was shocked. There were dozens of chicken being cut there. People were cutting their necks. They were making sounds. My Lord, that was the last time I went. After that, I never went to the temple. Later on, I found out that on specific days they cut the goats, they kill the chicken. So the worship is accompanied by such horrible practices. And then I came to know the worship of Sitaram, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan. That is done with only vegetables, fruits, flowers, tulasi. Correct? No? It's a sattvic, sattva-guna worship. So those who want liberation, they should go from tamoguna, rajoguna to sattva-guna. And then beyond sattva to vishuddha sattva, pure spiritual. At the same time, we should not offend the different devatas also. We should respect them. Because they are all Lord's associates, administrators of this universe. So we don't offend them. So there are 64 qualities of Krishna. Vishnu has 60 qualities. Lord Shiva has 55. Lord Brahma has 50. And these are all elaborately explained there. If you want to know, these are the 4 exclusive qualities of Krishna. See, Krishna becomes a child of Yashoda. But you will never find Narayana has a mother who chastises Narayana. Have you ever heard? In Vaikuntha? Therefore, this is an exclusive quality called Leela Madhuri. Stealing butter, such pastimes. See, this is called Bhakta Madhuri. You will never find Krishna alone. You will always find him surrounded by Yamuna, devotees, cows, gopis, like that. And this is called Venu Madhuri. He charms everybody's heart by his flute. You won't find flute with Narayana or Rama. You won't find. Only Krishna has. And Rupa Madhuri, his beautiful form. Okay. It's like a mathematics. Hence, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Isn't it? Anyway, I also want to show you one more thing.
fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. The 7 great sages and before them the 4 other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. One who is factually convinced of this opulent and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences, by which you pervade all these worlds. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. I am the Super Soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of light, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and
So you saw the opulence of Krishna from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Very good, no? So, yeah, please read it. Somebody quickly.
One cannot take up the readings of Bhagavad Gita like one would read a comic novel or read through quick tapes book. The Bhagavad Gita is considered very valuable, read and appreciated universally because it is spoken by Lord Krishna, because he is God himself. Bhagavad Gita is the song of God containing valuable lessons spoken by the Lord for the benefit of every human being to attain the ultimate salvation.
Correct, na? Yeah. And also I made one comparison here. If you see, the science books and all are always outdated and modified. Correct, na? Yesterday they knew something, today they know better, tomorrow they will change it. But in Bhagavad Gita, the timeless truths are spoken. Like, this is one of the beauty of the Vedic literature, that the Vedas have stood the test of time. Have you ever seen Vedas saying that we are very sorry, 5,000 years ago we told you there is a soul, now we found there is no soul. We want to say you all are your bodies only. Do they ever say like that? You know, Vedas say plants have life millions and millions of years ago. Scientists didn't know plants have life even 100 years ago, they didn't know. So therefore, out of the two, where should we put the repose of our faith? That is your choice. Yeah, he gave to verse 1 the same knowledge, Krishna says. Yeah. Now we will. Okay, please do the activity. Who is Krishna? Yeah, D. Only D. Yes. Second one? AC? ACD. You know what Prabhupada says in introduction after this 4? B and D. B and D. Yeah, Prabhupada says at least theoretically you have to accept Krishna as Supreme in the beginning of reading Bhagavad Gita. And D is following in footsteps of Arjuna. B and D. Yes? B. B and D, yeah, correct. All, yeah, all of them. Finished. So now I can take some questions now. So our Prabhu who drove me, he had some questions he asked. We can. Is he available here, Prabhu? Okay. Anybody else has a question? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Morning I was traveling by metro to attend your lecture at Abbott's Temple.
Okay.
My fellow traveler in metro asked me 2 questions.
Okay.
One is, our country is called Punya Bhumi, but why Western countries are advanced in all fields and in health, wealth, and people are good, everything is good. Then I answered a small answer. They are in materialistic advance, we are in spiritual advance.
Okay.
You elaborate the answer after second question.
Okay.
Second question what he has asked me is, in childhood his grandmother read Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
And he told, how you people say Krishna has got more qualities than Rama because Treta Yuga is more purer than Dwapara. I told him, Rama avatar is Krishna only.
Okay.
But he said, no, Vishnu.
Okay.
I told him, many Vishnus are there.
Yes.
Krishna is only one.
Okay.
But he was not. You answer, elaborate it.
Okay.
These two questions.
Okay. First question, when Prabhupada went to America, Prabhupada observed that many of the students from universities are jumping off from skyscraper buildings. Many universities are closing the terrace out of fear that students may jump off. There were 100-story buildings, so they closed the 100th floor, so students could jump from 99th one. So Prabhupada asked, why are your country people jumping and committing suicide? That means they are not happy. Also in America, the population is 20 crores and the number of jails is 1.5 lakh jails in America. For how many people? For 20 crore people. In India, the population is how much? 120 crore, 6 times more. Multiply 1.5 lakh by 6 times. 9 lakhs jails you are supposed to have, but in India there are only 50,000 jails. So, correct? No? Amazing, no? So it proves that criminalism is less in India. Correct? No? So where is 9 lakh jail? Where is 50,000 jails? That means because of dharma in India, the criminal rate is quite less, quite low because of that. Also Prabhupada observed in America, he saw that once 1 in 3 or 4 families were getting divorced. One out of 4 people were psychiatric patients in the West. So Prabhupada asked why it is so bad here. One Prithu Prabhu came to Pune, he was telling that he comes from Germany. So he was telling that our home is a very conservative home where he said our mother, father, children, we were all very pious from beginning. And mother was very submissive to our father. We have seen that from early days. But the father kept mother like a queen, very happily at home. But he said in America, he said, we are observing, in every family we find one member of the family like husband or wife, they have changed 4 or 5 partners. Therefore sometimes when the parents see the children, they say, my children, your children, our children. You know what I mean? Correct? My children means I begot some children through some other spouse and you begot some children through another spouse and we both begot together some children. So he was telling that in America this kind of multiple partner changing is because of dissatisfied, broken families, he was telling. So many of us think that the Western world is a happy world from a very superficial point of view. Only we see dollar notes, that's all. We don't see anything else. But money is not everything. You have to see how much happiness index they have. One should see that. They may have comforts and like you may have a Dunlop bed. Can you be assured you will get a good sleep? If your mind is in tension, what sleep you will get in a Dunlop bed? If somebody has very beautiful clothes, colorful clothes, costly clothes, can the costly clothes give you beauty? Beauty is different from the clothes. Similarly, you have the best of books all over the world. Indian author books, foreign author books. That is not equal to having brains. Similarly, having dollar notes in the pocket doesn't assure you happiness. Correct, no? So, therefore Prabhupada could challenge when he went to the West. Your people are becoming hippies. Why? You are not able to make them happy. And Prabhupada said, by chanting the holy name, we have made them happy. So, we should be able to prove even materially they are not happy. Even for you to be materially happy, you need spiritual life. What to speak of spiritual happiness? Spiritual happiness is later thing. Even for mental happiness, we need spiritual knowledge. That's what I would say. The second question regarding Krishna, Vishnu, Ram. See, Vishnu and devotee relationship is extremely formal and respect based. Like it is like the Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister of India, in Parliament. In Parliament, what is the relationship our PM has? Good morning, sir. Everybody puts salute. And he comes in formal dress. And the army people, Navy, Air Force, they all would offer special respects to him. But when he goes home, the relationship is very intimate. His mother can even twist his ears also. Hey, beta, you are supposed to eat at 1 o'clock, you are coming at 3 o'clock. Mother doesn't carry, he's a Prime Minister. Correct, no? So, Krishna and devotee relationship is a homely relationship. Krishna is playing on a flute. He's wearing dhoti. He's wearing flower garlands and everything. Whereas the same Lord, when he goes to office, he carries the weapons. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma and everything. Correct, no? Like an army officer at home may be wearing a lungi, banyan and things like that. When he goes to army, he may carry a gun. Will you show the gun to the family members? You won't. That's only for war. At home, he may be just in a light mood. So you all, once I asked the school children, you like your father at home or you like your father in office? What do you think everybody will say? Because home means there's a very jovial relationship at home, isn't it? Sometimes the father becomes a horse for the son or daughter. He takes the child on the back so that is possible. In office it's not possible. In office the father will be sitting on the head of other fellows. Hey, do this, do that and everything. At home the children will be sitting on the back. Isn't it? So similarly Lord Krishna is a homely relationship and Vishnu and Ram is official relationship. You will find Hanuman carrying Lakshman and Ram on his shoulders. Have you ever seen Hanuman sitting on Ram's shoulder? You will never see that. Whereas you find Krishna's friends climbing on Krishna's shoulders. That's the intimacy. So it's very easy to prove that the relationship of Krishna and his devotees is far more intimate than Vishnu and Ram along with their devotees. In the Brahma Vimohan Leela, Krishna expanded into thousands of Vishnus, you will find. Or you find Krishna expanding in Rasa Leela into hundreds and thousands of forms. Or while marrying Dwaraka queens, Krishna expanded into 16,108 forms of Krishna. But you will never find from one Vishnu many Krishnas coming, you will never find. But from one Krishna many Vishnus, there are many pastimes. Is it all right, Prabhu? Yeah. Please give them.
Prabhuji, is patriotism a mode of passion or mode of goodness?
Actually, patriotism is attachment to one's nation. Rabindranath Tagore wrote one poem where the world is free from fear, where the knowledge is free, where the world will not be divided into narrow domestic walls, into fragmental parts. Like that he wrote a poem. Man has demarcated earlier India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, Burma, they were all one. Later on man marked, and now Indians are having, enmity, animosity towards people in Pakistan or people in Burma or Bangladesh. Correct, no? It can happen like that. So, this kind of marking, main tu, that is a mode of passion. It's a mode of passion. Actually, at the same time, we can be patriotic towards India for India's spiritual glory. Because all the holy rivers are flowing, holy sons and devotees are born here, the holy dhams are there. You can have a desire to see the Vedic India protected. Then it would be dharmic to defend India from the foreign invasions. Then it would be meaningful. All right, Prabhu? Yeah. Any other question? Yeah, yes, Prabhu. There are many hands up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Several times we heard from Lilananda Prabhu in our conversation saying that we are all actually spirit souls but falling down from the Goloka Vrindavana. We were associated with Krishna and we fall down. But that Goloka Vrindavana is the world where once we go there is no return. That's what we understand from the middle point of...
you were there once, you have come here. Now if you go there you will never return. Yat Gatva. Gatva means if you go back once, nani vartante. But those people who have not yet come here, they stand a chance to come.
Does it mean that even going there is a chance of coming back is a question?
No, there is no chance. Why? It's like once bitten, twice shy, we say, no? Once you touch fire, like sometimes a child goes to kitchen and says, Mom, I want to put my hand in the gas stove. Gas stove, it looks like a blue color flower, around the, you have seen that gas flame. And the child doesn't know what it is and it wants to touch. Mom says, hey, don't come near. Mom is always warning, threatening. But once a child sees mom is not around, mom has gone somewhere to purchase something, so the child puts the hand. As soon as he touches the fire, what happens? Now will he touch second time? Similarly, we have already touched material world once now. We have good experience. So when you go back to spiritual world, this will remain like a nightmare for you. You'll never want to come here again. The Lord is asking you, would you like to go to material world? You will say, thank you, sir. No, thanks. We had enough experience, isn't it? We will not come here again. Yat gatva nani vartante.
Because we have not tasted material world, we came here.
Actually, why we come here, there are 5 reasons Prabhupada gives. I'll tell you what are the 5 reasons. First reason he says, we are very tiny, Lord is very great, big. Like sometimes there's a big fire, one piece of coal, if it is in the fire, it is red hot. Sometimes, it falls off, then it becomes black. No more, no more red hot nature. Similarly, Jiva also, the spiritual world, when it is in touch with Krishna, is shining, it's powerful, but it's very tiny. A spark of fire can be put off with a glass of water. But imagine you put a glass of water in the sun, what will happen? If you throw a bucket of water in the sun, anything can happen? It will just evaporate everything. Similarly, Krishna cannot fall down, but being very tiny in nature, we have a tendency to fall. That's the very first thing. Second thing, the Jiva has free will either to align with the Lord or turn away from the Lord. That free will is always there. You know, anybody knows the story of prodigal son here? Like our Milton wrote Paradise Lost. Anybody knows prodigal son story here? You heard? Okay, I'll cut the long story short, I will tell you. Once a landlord had two sons. Elder son was a very obedient son. The younger son was a disobedient son. The younger son went and mixed with many friends who really deluded him. They told him that, your father is a millionaire, why don't you take away your share of property? Then you can enjoy independently. So the boy went to his father and asked, Papa, I want my share of money. Father said, my son, you will squander all the wealth and you will be in the street. Right now you are too young. When you grow up, I will give you your share. But the son didn't pay any heed to that. He said, I want my share at any cost. My friends are telling me that you have been holding all the property yourself and you have been cheating us. You have not been giving our rightful share. Anyway, the father said, okay, take your share and go be happy. So he took his share and went. What do you think the friends did? The friends surrounded him and squandered all his wealth. When he became practically a pauper in the street, they all ran away. Now this fellow didn't have place to live, food to eat. He was stranded in the street. One day he met another Jamindar in another place. So Jamindar told him that if you want food, I can give you. Look at these 100 pigs. Take care of these 100 pigs, feed them this low quality wheat flour, and you also eat the same thing. And he was eating that low quality wheat flour. And one day, after a week, he was weeping bitterly. No one was around him. He was all alone. He was thinking how my father was so kind, so benevolent. He kept me like a king. Now I am eating this low quality wheat flour and living with these pigs. Maybe I should return to my father, not as a son, but at least as a servant. Instead of working for this landlord, I can work for my father. I can become a servant. So he grasped the courage to return to his village. As soon as he came to the frontiers of the village, people gave the news to the father. Your son is back. And the father arranged a bullock cart and immediately rushed to the frontiers of the village and looked at the son and jumped off from his cart and embraced the son, shed tears of love. And the son was surprised. My father still loves me, even though I have taken my share and gone away. He put him in the bullock cart and brought him home. And he told his other son, see, your brother has come back. And the father let him live like a son only, not like a servant, which came as a big surprise to the boy. My father is so kind. So you all can understand the moral of this story. So the father is compared to whom? Krishna. And the first son? To those who remain in spiritual world. Obedient son. Correct. And the second son? To all of us. We have left that world and come here. And we are suffering in varieties of ways. And now Lilananda Prabhu has turned all of you back to Krishna now. He has put you facing towards Krishna now. Now you are already on the way back to your village. Which is that village? Goloka. From Bhuloka to Goloka. Already you are on the way now. So when you go back, Krishna is going to come and receive you and take you back and you can live a very happy life. So this is the best part of a spiritual life, that for millions of lives you have been wandering. Now in this particular life you have turned and going back. Correct? So now why did the second son leave the father? That is his wrong choice he made. Similarly, Jiva has the free will. He can make a wrong choice to turn away from the Lord. It's possible. So I told you, the Jiva is very tiny. He has a tendency to fall. And the Jiva also has a free will, which he can use or misuse. He can do that. He has that choice, he says. And also another reason Prabhupada says, the jiva also has a desire to do something in the spiritual world sometimes. He tells the Lord that I want to create something for you. Lord says, what will you create? I have created everything. Everything is ready. But he develops a strong desire. Then Krishna makes him Brahma in this material world. Then Brahma creates everything. And if he becomes satisfied, he goes back to Godhead. But if Brahma becomes proud, I did the creation, then he becomes a human being. When human being creates something and becomes proud, he becomes an animal. And then he degrades like that. That's one of the ways the jiva can degrade, Prabhupada says. Which means he wants to imitate Krishna by creating something. Everybody becomes attached to their own creations, correct, no? People create something and become attached. That's another reason. Is like that Prabhupada gives many reasons like this. Why we have come here. It's actually a causeless unwillingness. Now I'll ask a simple question. In this program, many people became devotees. Is there any dearth of love and care in this program? See how much Lilananda Prabhu and his wife, they are putting their sweat and toil in making sure you all have a good prasadam, good lecture, good experience, like a spiritual mother and spiritual father. They're caring for you. Despite doing that, there are some people leaving this program and going. Do you agree? In the same manner, we have left spiritual world. Correct, no? Yeah. It's called causeless unwillingness. Correct, no?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, it was informed that Krishna has told that he will never step out of Vrindavan. So, can you tell us who moved to Mathura and Ayodhya?
When Krishna comes to Mathura, he expands in a particular form called Vasudev, who has 400 form. He has a 400 form. Krishna in Vrindavan has 200 form. So Vrindavanam parityaja padamekam na gacchati, it is said. He will not leave Vrindavan and put 1 foot outside. He will remain in Vrindavan. So that Krishna who comes to Mathura is the one who was born in the jail of Kamsano. His name is Vasudev. In fact, when Krishna is taken to Vrindavan, Yashoda also begets the child Krishna. So this 400 Krishna merges into 200 Krishna. And then when 200 form of Krishna comes up to the frontiers, Akrura sees that he goes to the river. From the river what comes out is not Krishna, that is Krishna's expansion called Vasudev. Which is also Krishna's expansion only, yes.
Hare Krishna. Bro, we worship Goddess Saraswati or Parvati separately from their husbands. So why not we worship Goddess Lakshmi separately from Vishnu?
Oh, right. Actually, we don't worship Saraswati also alone, although people have pictures like that. The Shakti should always be worshipped with Shaktiman. Always. Like Parvati and Shiva are worshipped together. Correct, no? Similarly, Lakshmi Narayana are worshipped together. Shakti. People don't know in India. You will find in certain temples, there will be Parvati along with Vishnu, the brother and sister. They are also worshipped sometimes. Like Vishnu's sister is Parvati and Parvati's husband is Shiva. But you will never, if somebody is worshipping only Parvati or only Lakshmi, then that is considered only Shakti worship. So those who are Shakti worshippers, you will find they are materialists. Prabhupada includes scientists also in Shakti worshippers. Why? Because they are taking the Shakti of the Lord and researching in their laboratories. All the energies of the Lord. And the atheistic scientists deny the Lord. That means they don't accept the Shaktiman. They only want, like Mandal's periodic table includes only the 120 elements which are all Shaktis of the Lord. You have to ask them who produces elements. That they will not talk. Correct, no? So therefore the Shaktiman are to be worshipped together according to the Vedas. Shakti Shaktimati or Abheda. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My doubt is, in Bhagavad Gita it is said that even Krishna is Indra. And Indra is supposed to be the leader of the demigods.
Yeah, right.
But in some past times, the Indra, like in Vitrasura case, Govardhana Leela case, Indra is on so many negative mistakes. In another ways, how should we understand the character of Indra?
In this world, don't you see sometimes big people also commit mistakes? In this world also you see, no? People commit mistakes. So Indra is actually a post. It's not that only one Indra is doing all the mistakes. It's not like that. It's like Prime Minister of India. We had at one time Narasimha Rao was there. Then who else was there? After that many others have changed. Now we have Narendra Modi now. So the person in that seat is changing. And the name of the seat is Prime Minister. Similarly, the name of post is Indra. Different guys come. One guy committed mistake in that Govardhan Leela. Another fellow committed mistake in Prithvi's pastime, like that. This goes to show that, even though somebody may be a big fellow, it's not that big fellows cannot commit mistakes. We say, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, it is said. So in this world, if you give power, if you want to test the character of a person in this world, give him power. How you will misuse it, you will see. You will misuse women, misuse money, misuse his post to exploit others. So through Indra we learn what not to do many times. And through pure devotees you learn what to do. So we can't ask why he committed the mistake, because even in this world we see sometimes people do blunders and are put behind the bars. Correct? Yeah. In our life we should take care we don't commit similar mistakes like that. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, Prabhupada says that...
which one says?
Prabhupada says that to control our senses, we should dovetail our senses to Krishna.
Correct.
Right? Through the devotional service.
Correct.
Now in our daily life, we are working,
yes.
We are planning, we are working and say planning for a retirement,
yes.
Okay, or children education, planning to buy a house or whatever, right? And so how that whole dovetailing to Krishna consciousness would happen when we are doing this, and probably I don't know whether we need to
you have to ask a question, why am I doing what I am doing? That question we all have to ask. For example, you are planning for retirement. So what do you want to do after retirement? You want to take rest? Or you want to do something for Krishna?
Yeah, probably something for Krishna.
Then it becomes Krishna conscious. As soon as you connect it to Krishna, it becomes Krishna conscious. Say for example, you say that I want to do a better job, a bigger job with more money. So why do you want more money? So if you say I want to enjoy more luxuries, then there is no Krishna there. If you say I want to make a little more money so I can save some more money and use it in Krishna's service. Like somebody says, we have a smaller house now. Instead of 2 BHK, we'll take a 3 BHK. Now why do you want a 3 BHK? You say, because we want to start a weekly program in our house. We will have a bigger hall. Prabhuji want to expand with 4 or 5 preachers. So we want to give one hall for the program. Then going to a bigger house is justified. If somebody says, we want a bigger house, bigger car, a bigger fat salary, why? So that we can enjoy more. Then there is no Krishna there. So why am I doing what I am doing? That's the question you have to ask, always. And also some of you may feel that all day we are working, going to company, making money, life is not so Krishna conscious. Morning we are chanting, and then weekly we come for the class. Other times we feel I am not so Krishna conscious. So therefore what we should do, we should maximize Krishna time, minimize Maya time. That's one of our formula. How to do that? Apart from this program, some people are DCS here, correct now? Devotee Care Servant. Now even in their company they may be calling some of you and following you up. They are doing Krishna service while going in the car, while going to company, they are contemplating. Similarly, some of you take a book distribution service. You are contemplating where to put the book table. Is there some temple we can put? So you have your company duration. After that you take out some time to render some seva. So rendering seva gives you some contemplation on how to do the seva better. And also rendering seva brings you mercy and blessings. So we get purified more. And in the same manner, we all in this world, Krishna says, Sharira yatra pichite na prasideta karamana. You have to do some work to earn your livelihood, to maintain wife, children, family. So we have to do that work. Like Arjuna had to do the warfare. That was his duty. What do you think Arjuna, while fighting the battle all the time, if he is remembering Krishna, then how can he fight? But we should know that he is fighting on the order of Krishna. Similarly, you should know you are doing the work because that is your duty as a family man. You have to do the duty, earn the money, maintain the family, and take out as much time as possible to do something related to Krishna. You can read Bhagavad Gita, you can help in putting up the programs, in distributing the books, or if you are good in computer work, you can make some posters, brochures, things like that. You can also connect with colleagues from your office to Krishna consciousness. connect them to SSR classes. Correct them. Nowadays even there are people who connect through phone and they read little bit of 10-15 minutes Gita class they have every afternoon. There are many corporate people doing that nowadays. Many things like that we could do. Alright? So you can read 11.55 Bhagavad Gita. 11.55 will give you more detail. How to work for Krishna, work for Maya. That verse says that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In Kurukshetra, Arjuna hesitates to fight, and that is when Lord Krishna tells him that you are not the doer of your actions. Now you are hesitating to fight with your relatives because you have a fear that you might end up killing them. But I, as Krishna, have already killed them in the period of time much ahead, and you are just going to be a vehicle through which the work will get performed. So from that perspective, the sense of doership, as we call it now, how valid is it? And are all the actions which we perform, are they predetermined and predestined?
Okay, they are not predestined. Actually, what is destined for you is, for example, you did some punya in the previous life. So you got a handsome body, you got enough money in your pocket, you got a big house to live, you got a healthy body. These are all destined from the previous life. What is not destined is what will you do with these things. Like with money, you have more money because of past life. But now with that money, what you will do, that is not destined. That is in your hands only. And regarding the ownership, actually Arjuna also had to take initiative. Not that Arjuna told Krishna, okay Krishna, you have killed everybody. So now you take the chariot, I will go to sleep in the chariot behind. Did you go to sleep? He, like we say, do your best and let Krishna do the rest. That's what he did. So we also have to make a plan in our lives and execute the plan. But most important thing is, you should not break down when your plans don't go the way that you intended them to go. Rather, one should be detached. One should be ready. Like we say, hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. That is the ideal consciousness. So we should be able to let go things in our life. That's the Bhagavad Gita teaching. Because ultimately, why God is doing something we cannot say. He may be doing for our good. Like I heard a story, one man was stranded in an island, due to a boat wreck, in a rock. So then he saw there was nobody living in that island, and it was getting dark in the night, and he heard the tigers and lions roaring. So he climbed up a tree, and he saw the animals moving below. So he was very frightened. The whole night he slept in the tree. Next day when he came down, he searched for some fruits and berries and ate. So he thought during the daytime I will build a hut so I can live peacefully without any fear. So he worked hard. It took him almost a week to build a hut. Now he made the door, lock, everything. Now he could live peacefully there. But after a month passed like this, he was actually wondering, if I don't get anything to eat, I will die. Why God is so cruel on me? He is not, if many ships would pass by, he would wave the hand, but they can't hear him. They couldn't hear him. Even his shouting didn't reach them. So one day, in the evening time, he had gone to fetch some fruits. At the time, from a distance, he saw his whole hut was set ablaze. Big smoke in the sky and fire in the sky. He came running back. By the time, the whole house was burnt down to ashes. So he loudly cried and criticized God. You are so cruel to me. This is the only place I had for my safety and protection, and that also you burned away. Again, to rebuild it will take me a week or two. At the time, one boat passing by, some 100 people were passing by. So they stopped the boat and they waved him. And seeing them, he ran there. He asked them, how did you know that I am suffering here? They said, we didn't know that you were living here, but we saw the fire up in the sky because we were actually looking for some humans in this dweep. We wanted to take some things. So then of course they came and they plucked some fruits and everything. And when they went, he also could go back with them. On the way back, he was thinking, I was criticizing God for burning the hut, but without which they would have never known that I am living here. Is it not true? So sometimes God may appear to throw sand in our plans, but He is doing it for a better cause. Correct, no? Like one man was feeling in his mind that, when my parents insisted that I should marry a particular woman, because of their strong desire, I married her. But she is not as good looking, as my manager has a newly appointed secretary who looks so beautiful. She looks like an American girl. But then he came to know that that girl has a dozen male partners. She roams with many men. She's a characterless woman. Then he thought, my Lord, my wife is the Gunavati. She has such chastity and good qualities. She will never even think of another man in her mind like this. Then he became satisfied. Because many times our mind, creates many troubles for us. It many times thinks others are happy, I am not happy. Others have this, I don't have this. So therefore in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna teaches us responsibility and detachment, both. So you should be responsible in doing the work, but you should be detached from the fruits. And the fruits Krishna will give as per what is good for you. You should be ready for that. Another quick story comes to my mind. Once a boy who was an engineering student in India, while he was studying here, he was completely under parents' control. So he thought that I will take up a job in West and I can be a free bird, Thinking like that, he purposefully applied for jobs in America and he got one. So while flying in the plane, he was very jolly. Now I'll go to West and I'll be a free bird. But when he reached the West, he saw a mail from his father in the email box. Father wrote, Beta, I saw that you got a job for $5,000 payment. So now father said, you keep $1,000 with you, but send me $4,000 back to me. So now the son was very frustrated, but he was an obedient son. He couldn't show his anger to his father. So with $1,000, what will I do? From home to company, company to home. That's all he did. He couldn't go anywhere. Actually, he had a plan to smoke and drink and roam around with people and all that. 5 years passed like this. After 5 years, the father called him and said, now you have fixed a girl for you, you should get married, settled, now please come back. So when he came back, on the day of marriage, the father gave him a checkbook, exactly with the amount of $4,000 multiplied by 12 into 5. That means all the money he took, he gave it all back to him. And the son had tears in his eyes. Papa, you are giving all the money back. I was always offensive towards you in my mind. Now you are giving it all back to me. The father said, see, when you are in America, you would have hurted yourself with this money. You would have harmed yourself. With this money, if you drank and if you smoked and drank and everything, you would have become ruined in your life. Therefore, I took away that money which will harm you. Now that your wife has come, she is your policeman now. So I am giving it back to you. You can't misuse the money now. So in the same manner, Krishna says, Mahaphaleshu kadachana, hey, don't hurt yourself with this. Fruits, give the fruits to me. Just like parents also tell their children, no? Hey, I will keep this with you whenever you need. Like say parents are buying a cocoa chocolate packet. Will they give the whole packet to the child? They may just give one or two. If they don't keep it in lock and key, children will finish everything and all that tooth will also be finished. Correct, no? So parents know what is harmful. So Krishna is also saying in Gita that fruits I will keep with me and I will only give you as much as you can handle. That much only I will give you. Actually, we all have an eagerness to handle a lot of things, but Krishna knows how much we can handle. Only that much He will give us. Is that all right? So responsibility and detachment, both are required. So Prabhu, we had enough questions? Yes, thank you. Yeah, correct. Yes, Prabhu.
I humbly request. Let's thank Radheshyam Prabhu with 3 loud. So
one amazing thing for me was they answered all the questions so perfectly. Correct, no? They found the correct answers.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So we have 2-3 important things that we had planned today. Since there is no time, and I want to humbly ask all the devotees who have written the IDC exam, without any delay, please come this side. In the meantime, I can make some announcements, right, by the time you reach there. I'm trying to be multitasking here. So, there are this, please come this side, calmly. All 39 of you. Yeah. So, there are these cards, yeah, there are this small gift. Hare Krishna, no talking please. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, please. I'm making some announcements. Praveen Prabhu, Vani Mataji, please. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So these cards are made. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah. So these cards are made by Lakshmikant Prabhu as a gift to all of you. How many know here Lakshmikant Prabhu? He was just here some time back, right? And he always does this nice services. Like Prabhuji was saying, use your talent in service of Krishna. He always did. No, I never asked him to do this, but he made cards, for all 130 Bhagavatam sets. He made these cards for all of you. I can see the card of Rao Prabhu. I think, where is Rao Prabhu? He was just here. Yeah, Prabhuji, your card here. Right? So I'll keep these cards. You can see that J.C. Rao Prabhu. Yeah, and even Teja Prabhu, your card is here. Yeah, so you can see. So I'm going to keep these cards. I just want Prabhuji to touch them once so that blessings are there. So I'll keep them on this table. Please keep them in your house. And you can always read the message. I want to read the message behind. Yeah? Yes, you can just identify and pick up from there. I'll read the message behind. It's a very nice message. I didn't ask him to write this. He only wrote it. And so thanks to all DCS devotees, and you can see all of them are DCS devotees there. Hari Bol. Yeah. And they are the ones actually who distributed Bhagavatam sets this year. And families, thanks to all DCS team, families for encouraging all the new SSR batch devotees. Can you all lift who are from the new SSR batch here? Yeah, I think 80%. Yeah, and the previous batch is also here. So like we have a mix of devotees today. Okay, so to accept, they have encouraged all of you to accept Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are very grateful to all these devotees who have actually done it. So Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Vyasdev ki jai, Srila Brahma Madhva Gaudi Guru Parampara Sampradaya ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So this card is beautifully made. It's with his emotion and heart. So I'll keep it there. And he goes one step ahead. I mean, we don't distribute materialistic things here, but I don't see it as materialistic because it's a gift of token of love that he feels when he comes to this group. So he is giving away a 1200 rupees coupon for each family, and just free. Just take this and use it for anytime you have a need for any photography shoot. Actually, Prabhuji, he works in all page 3 photography. So he struggles. Sometimes he comes and discusses with me that I am shooting Maya all the time. It's so difficult, to chant and to do, because these people who call him for photography are very passionate generally. So he actually wants to come towards devotional side, where he wants to shift his career towards, not to make money, of course that's his bread and butter, but I think it's a good gift coupon that you can take. I'll keep them along with the cards. So you can also take one of these coupons. Just take one for each family. That's his request. And I also want to request your name again. Huh? Nagendra. Anand. Yeah, this boy Anand, can you please come here? Yeah. So I wanted Prabhuji to specifically give him a personal copy of Bhagavad Gita. Can somebody get an English Bhagavad Gita? So Prabhuji, how old are you? He's almost 13 years, almost became 14. He's part of the new batch, Prabhu. His parents are there. So he has finished how many cantos of Bhagavatam? He has read 4 cantos in the last 3 months.
Also, I would like to call another person who has finished almost 4 cantos, Rishi. Yeah, he has also almost finished. I think he finished more than me.
Yeah, same call. Oh, you're the same call. Yeah. Cousins. Yeah, cousins. What's your good name?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So it's so nice to see, children, especially in this age, they are reading entire translation purports. Ninth grade and 6th grade. So they already have so much study to do in their house, but still they are also spending time and they are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, setting an example for all of us. So let's encourage them with loud Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He's is the enthusiasm personified a person. Yeah. So another thing I wanted to announce and let Prabhuji also know is, Prabhuji, one activity we did is at the beginning of the year, on the first of the year, all devotees came together and said, we will do this new year in a different way. It was not even my idea. They said we will read Bhagavatam together in circles, and almost 60 devotees, they came on 31st evening, they read for 3 hours, and on first they read for 12 hours continuous. Entire, 10th canto of Bhagavatam. So, that encouragement led to what? After that, so many devotees are finishing Bhagavatam one by one. They got a taste of that so much is there in Bhagavatam. Like Teja Prabhu, he was saying, he just finished the 5th canto. So you can lift your hand. Hari Bol.
So with your blessing, Prabhuji, I will take it at ISKCON Hamilton.
Hare Krishna. And there are many others also who are reading. Even Lakshmikant Prabhu does photography. He has finished first canto. He just told me. So everybody is going forward. The Bhagavatams are not kept as it is. The covers are torn, and it's a highly encouraging thing. So with that said, you can sit down. Yeah. Thank you very much. And one other thing I would definitely want to thank you all is for the Go Seva. Many of them have been doing. Prabhuji, you should know that. For the 33 odd cows we have in Vaishnav Seva Kunj, they are nicely eating and happy because of all the devotees. They come there and they serve them. It's such a nice thing. Actually, they are in the weekends. Some of them are even visiting when I'm not there. They just go to the cows and come. That's a very nice thing to happen. Hare Krishna. So now, he also needs a book. Okay. So now, so we have this IDC course. Shh. No, that's okay. Yeah. So we have this IDC course, which is ISKCON Disciple course. You want to say one word about what is this course?
Hare Krishna. This was a course introduced some 3-4 years ago by the ISKCON authorities. Because in spiritual life, the Guru is like a captain of the boat for us. Because he has the compass to escort us and guide us back to the shores of the spiritual world. So there has been a lot of confusion regarding the Gurus in ISKCON and choosing a Guru. So ISKCON leaders, GBCs, once came with this beautifully designed course. So it will be very clear about Prabhupada's position, Guru's position, and Shiksha Guru's position. Everything will be very clear. So this is actually a mandatory course before initiation. It's very nice that Prabhu got it all done. They are chanting 16 rounds. For how long they are chanting 16 rounds? These devotees?
No, not all of them are chanting 16 rounds. They told that.
So if you have this course certificate with 16 rounds for 3 years, if you are chanting, then you are eligible for accepting a spiritual master in ISKCON.
Yes.
So at the time of initiation, there will be a Viva Voce and the written test will be there. Along with it, they will ask you, do you have the IDC certificate? So you all, when you go back, you can scan it and keep a soft copy with you. When you are getting initiated, that time you will have to send that copy.
Yes. Hare Krishna. And I just wanted the devotees to take it from Prabhuji's hands. But one announcement before I again forget. May I request Nirupama Mataji and Subbarao Prabhu to come on the stage once? Please. Yes. Hari Bol. So we also had we tried to do some preacher training. Not that we know how to do, but we around 10 devotees here have done sessions. Yeah, can you all, who all took the training, can you please raise your hand? Praveen Prabhu? Yeah, Mataji Kunchak. Yeah.
Just tell the names.
Satya Prabhu also. Okay, I can repeat the name. Subbarao Prabhu and Nirupama Mataji, 2. Santosh Aditya Prabhu, Mishra Prabhu, and Praveen Prabhu. Suma Mataji. Yes, yeah, Hare Krishna. Poonam Mataji, Shri Gopal Prabhu, and Satya Prabhu. Yeah. And Lovesh Prabhu. Where is Lovesh Prabhu? Yes, Lovesh Prabhu. I'm sorry if I'm missing names. Please forgive me.
Okay.
Things are not. Yeah, and there are few more such trainings we want to do.
They are starting to do that.
Yes. Yeah. SSRs they are starting. And just today is the day when Subbarao Prabhu and Nirupama Mataji have started a new SSR batch in Jubilee Hills Music School. And there are around 30 devotees who are getting connected. They have started in Telugu. We have realized that there is a lot of need for local language connection, and a lot of people have asked for Telugu batches actually. So they are doing it in Telugu, and most probably in another month or so we have Praveen Prabhu and Suma Mataji They are also starting in English. So we want this to start and go to every community. There is a great need. People want to learn this knowledge. How many feel that people want to learn this knowledge?
Haribol.
Haribol, yes, yeah. So there is a need for all of us to take this knowledge out of this room. And I also want to thank Subara Prabhu specifically. I know there are many other efforts, but this hall that we have got for the last 6 months close to, every Sunday we are connecting here. Prabhuji has spoken to the committee here of the apartments, and they are very nice people in the committee.
Place for it.
Yeah, and everything is so conducive. Just today children were actually playing there. Otherwise they have a different play area. Today there were a lot of mosquitoes out. So they all were playing here. Otherwise it's so nicely arranged, and we have been having sessions here for many months. So I am very grateful to Subara Prabhu and Hare Krishna. And of course, oh yeah, she is a PhD herself, Mataji, a very scholarly couple. And now they have started preaching together. That's an amazing thing. And I also am very grateful to all the Matajis who are cooking now. Now the satsang has grown to 120. Now the problem is prasadam. So they have divided into 4 groups. And each week one group is taking care of the prasadam. We are cooking here locally, and we are offering, and then. So today the Matajis who have cooked, can you please lift your hand? Haribol. Which batch? Yeah, the Mataji is there. Haribol. Haribol. Come on, they have cooked prasadam for us. Loud Haribol. Haribol. Yeah, now I'll start calling the names. Can you all just come in the order in which I am calling? Praveen Prabhu. You can keep chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare. Suma Mataji. Uday Prabhu. Srijana Mataji. Santosh Aditya Prabhu. Yeah. Saujanya Mataji. Santosh Aditya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Mishra Prabhu. Neelam Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Ravi Kishore Prabhu. Neelam Mataji. Meenu Mataji. Lovesh Prabhu. Yeah, Haripriya Mataji, Pritam Kumari Mataji. Then Haripriya Mataji. Haripriya Mataji. They have not. Okay. Yeah. Mahesh Prabhu, can Subara Prabhu take on behalf? Mahesh Prabhu? Yeah. Mahesh Prabhu and Prashanti Mataji. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shilpa Mataji. Hare Ram. Nirupama Mataji and Subara Prabhu. Raju Prabhuji. Lavanya Mataji. Raju. Lavanya Mataji. Mehak Mataji. Jyotsna Mataji. Lavanya. Satya Prabhu. Satya Prabhu. Satya Prabhu. Panduranga Prabhu. This will keep. Satyadev Prabhu. Satyadev Prabhu and Srivalli Mataji. This is Satyadev. Panduranga Prabhu. Hare Krishna. so I'll give the certificate. Okay. Vritika Mata. Hare Krishna, Hare Meera Mataji and Malingam Ayer Prabhu. Ram. Hare Krishna, Malingam Ayer. Shri Gopal Prabhu and Poonam Mataji. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Shri Gopal Prabhu and Poonam Mataji. Hare Ram, Hare. Lakshmikant Prabhu is not here, so we'll give it. Vani Mataji. Anurag Prabhu. Is Anurag Prabhu here? Is not here. Vani Mataji. Keep it behind. Yeah, so we are done. Hare Krishna. Did everybody receive? Hare Krishna. Let us congratulate. Yes. We'll do 10 minutes kirtan. Yeah, so you can start putting the chairs behind and we'll have a 10 minutes kirtan.
Hare Krishna.
Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavang Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath